News projects he won Wisconsin, North Carolina, Georgia, and Pennsylvania. CBS's Anthony Salvanto says Mr. Trump performed well in key areas like the Philly suburbs.
That's where a lot of the shift happened. This is white working class voters. These are voters who told us consistently they were hard hit by inflation.
Republicans will take control of the Senate. Sherrod Brown lost his seat in Ohio.
We believe if you love this country, you fight for the people who make it work. We always will. This is a disappointment, but is not a failure.
CBS News special report. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
Now, President-elect Trump may have a very friendly Congress. You just heard there about the soon-to-be Republican Senate. Poll results also appear to show Republicans will keep control of the U.S. House as well. There were no major upsets among those races in Georgia last night. It is 70 degrees right now in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says it'll be cloudy throughout the day. Chances some rain showers today as well. The high will stick in the low 70s. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. Now, part of President-elect Trump's key to victory was his support from surprising parts of the general electorate.
ABC News exit polling data showing Trump gained critical ground, particularly among young men in union households. But his most surprising surge among Hispanic voters. The best showing for a Republican presidential candidate in exit polls since 1976.
And correspondent Rachel Scott says Trump improved his margin of victory compared to 4 years ago in county after county, and that includes many in rural Georgia. As for the local races here in Georgia, there were no major upsets in this year's races in the state Senate, as all incumbents retain their seats and Republicans maintain their majority. 2 Republican incumbents lose their seats in the Georgia House, including Atlanta's Misha Maynor, who had switched from the Democratic Party. Georgia voters give unanimous approval to the constitutional amendments and referendum on this year's ballot.
Amendment 1 received 63% of the vote in Georgia, which means the local homestead tax has been approved, allowing homeowners to have a limit on property tax increases. Also, Referendum A passed with 64% of the vote. That means businesses will get an exemption for personal property tax.
And I raised that exemption from $7,500 to $20,000.
That's the author of the measure, Georgia State Representative Mike Chokas. Daphne Young, 95.5 WSB.
Amendment 2 also narrowly passes, creating a state tax court in the judicial branch, doing away with the current tax tribunal that handles Department of Revenue complaints. The setup of that new tax court will begin as early as New Year's Day. The Federal Reserve opens a 2-day meeting today. We're expecting to hear tomorrow on what it'll do with interest rates.
Investors have been expecting a rate cut of 0.25% for some time. So the only thing that would be dramatic is if the Fed were not to deliver that.
Yeah, bank rates Mark Hamrick says not expected to be as big as the half-point cut we saw in September. The first time the Fed cut rates in 4 years, as the current rate is still considered restrictive. Now, you can get real-time updates on the local and national results, including a breakdown of how states voted in this presidential election. Get it all at WSBRadio.com or on the WSB Radio app. It's 9:03. Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes. But first, live team coverage of traffic and weather. Start with Triple Team Traffic, and here is Marlon Mark McKay.
Really seeing improvement on 575 and I-75, Cog Cherokee, Bartow County, Judd. The 75 delays leaving Marietta mainly in the right lanes approaching I-285. Still a tad bit rugged as you leave Alpharetta, rolling south toward Norcross or out of Alpharetta into Roswell. Your delays right around Haynesbridge Road. The ride into Norcross on I-85 still stacked up, leaving 316, trying to get down to Indian Trail Road. How's downtown, Ashley Frasca?
Looking at about 20 minutes on the downtown connector, 75-85 northbound up from 166 Langford Parkway to 17th Street. Still a crowd 85 south traveling down from Georgia 400 and I-20 westbound. Sluggish coming over from Moreland Avenue. Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy skies today with hit or miss rain showers, high 72, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Holding on to the cloud cover tomorrow with an isolated rain shower, high 75. A little bit more sunshine by Friday, high 77.
It is currently 71 degrees in College Park, 68 in Milton. It's 70 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:05. More news at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
Wow. Holy smokes. Welcome, friends. Mark Arum and crew with you till noon. Massive post-election coverage throughout the next 3 hours. Eric Erickson, Bill Crane. We're going to go live to Jerusalem and get international reaction to President-elect Grover Cleveland J. Trump. Yes, former President Trump. You heard the call here this morning at 5:30 a.m., is your president-elect. A lot of stuff happened last night. We're going to break it all down for you here, get reaction from the Democrats. We're going to update what's going on in the House and Senate. Could the Republicans have control of all three branches? It looks that way. Amazing historical evening last night. Let's start off where what I got right and what I got wrong. So, Deborah, you might remember I said I couldn't read the tea leaves. The polls didn't make any sense. I said this is either going to be really tight or it's going to be a blowout. But I didn't know who was going to win either way. It was a blowout. Holy smokes. Trump is going to win the popular vote, which I didn't think was possible for a Republican to win the popular vote right now. And there's still votes in California that need to be added. So it's going to tighten up. But Trump has 51% of the popular vote right now, 71 million votes. Harris, 47.4%. That's the most shocking headline of what happened last night, was that Trump coasted to victory with the popular vote. Unbelievable. So we did the roundtable yesterday, which it was so fun. We got to do those more often. I know we can't wait till big political races and election nights. Me, Erickson, Von Hessler, Shelley Winter, Chris Chandler, Scott Slade. If you missed it, I'm sure it's on our Facebook page or WSB Radio. Such a good time with my compadres yesterday. But we were all kind of in this similar boat of, except for Shelley, we were all in the similar boat of we're not really sure what's going to happen. And then Erickson started getting numbers in from Florida that seemed like a canary in the coal mine for Trump. Trump outperforming Biden and what he did in 2020 in some really important counties in Florida, Duval. Now, personally, again, I don't have the connections that Erickson has, but I'm pretty astute when it comes to this. I knew Trump was going to win Georgia, and he won it by about the margin I thought it was going to be, 1.5. That's where I thought it was. I know the Democrats really had a lot of eggs in the basket here in Georgia. They were hopeful. It was tight. It was close, but Trump won. What shocked me the most is I thought listen, the way things were going yesterday, I'm like, all right, Harris is not going to win this. And I point to Deborah's home state of Wisconsin. The way the numbers are coming in, I'm like, she's going to lose Wisconsin. And if she loses Wisconsin, it's game over. Because I knew Trump was going to sweep the Sun Belt states. I knew Texas wasn't in play. I knew Florida wasn't in play. But I knew, and I asked, I told my gambling buddies, like, what swing state should I bet on? And I said, Nevada. Trump's going to win Nevada and probably Arizona pretty easily. And he did. So I predicted the sweep of the Sun Belt states. I thought North Carolina might be in play because of the governor's race, but I still leaned it toward Trump there. It came down to the blue wall. I thought Harris would win Pennsylvania and Michigan. She lost Pennsylvania and Michigan. That's crazy. I thought she was going to lose Wisconsin, but I didn't see her losing Pennsylvania and Michigan. I actually thought the Democrats know what to do in Pennsylvania. That you got the Philly and the suburbs. No, not even close. Well, kind of close. The latest update in Pennsylvania, 50.6% of the vote to Donald Trump. Kamala Harris, 48.3%. So basically, we kind of saw a redo of 2016 when Trump beat Hillary Clinton. Michigan surprised me. Closer there. Trump, 49.8%. Kamala Harris, 48.2%. She did win Minnesota by about 5 points. But how about Deborah's Wisconsin? So Wisconsin, in the last 3 presidential races, has been decided by 20,000 votes. And that's what kind of the experts thought would be in Wisconsin. They thought Harris might win by 20,000 votes. No, it's Donald Trump. He's currently up by 30,000 votes, and that was called this morning at 5:30 in the morning. Some people are obviously over the moon. Some people are depressed. I'm kind of shocked at the results. I didn't expect this kind of a run-up. Right now, the electoral count 276 to 223. We'll update that if anything changes. But President Donald Trump at 5:30 this morning got the Badger State, and that put him over 270. The blue wall failure, the Sun Belt sweep, just really, historic night. And there's so many things I need to talk about the results last night. What it means for the future of the Democratic Party, right? President Trump called it a mandate. I don't know if it's a mandate, but it's a wake-up call. If you look inside the exit poll numbers, the Hispanic numbers, Trump absolutely crushed with Hispanics. The younger voters went with former President Trump over Harris. Those are two Democratic strongholds. If the Democrats don't have Hispanics and young voters, black males, what is the future of the Democratic Party? They have to do a massive reset. I mean, complete. We talk about in sports terms, like the New Orleans Saints right now. Like they have to blow the whole thing up. They got to start from scratch. That's what the Democrats are facing right now. They got to blow the whole thing up. They've got to figure out what can we do to come close to any sort of competitiveness, because they just lost young votes, Hispanics, black males. They have to rip up their playbook and start again. There is also a question. Now, I understand I'm not raining on anyone's parade, but you got 4 more years of Trump, and that's it. What's the Republican Party look like post-Trump? Because I'll tell you what, there might be some bright rising stars on the Republican side of the aisle. You're never, ever going to see another Donald Trump. That dude is the ultimate political unicorn. He's a mythical figure. There's no politician in any way, shape, or form that comes close to what Donald Trump does. Not just in the United States politics, in world politics. I've seen some comparisons of Churchill. You're familiar from watching The Crown. His ups and downs, right? Churchill pales in comparison to what Donald Trump is. The dude is a mythical creature politically. He is a unicorn. So the Republicans, yes, celebrate. You're going to have control of the White House, the Senate, and most likely the Congress. I'm not raining on your parade, but you got 4 years left with your unicorn. You got to plan what you're going to do when you got to put the unicorn out to pasture and he retires. Can't run for president again. Major developments overnight. Crazy stuff. I want to talk about next what we should be watching for and what we need to be looking for in Trump 2.0. President-elect Grover Cleveland, J. Trump. What are things we need to see? What are things we shouldn't see? What's the second Trump presidency going to look like? We're all over this. Eric Erickson live, political analyst Bill Crane. Going to go up to Karen Travers, Washington White House correspondent for ABC, waiting on some sort of reaction from the Harris campaign. So much to talk about. Watch the show live at WSBRadio.com. Tweet at me at Mark Arum, MarkArum.
The votes are in, and Donald Trump wins his second term in the White House.
We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything.
Election Day 2024.
The votes have been counted.
So I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being...
Stay with 95.5 WSB for all the information you need about the Trump transition.
Every single day I will be fighting for you.
95.5 WSB.
Your 2024 election station.
Raise your hand if your family is obsessed with Wicked. Hey, it's Mark Arum here. My wife is a huge fan. So you're probably wondering how much streaming and memeing your internet can handle at your kid's next Wicked-themed sleepover. Well, Xfinity Internet's powerful enough to handle hundreds of devices, so you can get a magical connection with fast speeds and amazing flyover power, even when everyone's online at the sleepover. With Wi-Fi that's truly thrill-ifying. One might even say that Xfinity engineers are secretly wizards themselves. Now through December 22nd, get thrill-ifying fast 150 megabit Xfinity internet, just $35 a month for 12 months, no annual contract, and free Wi-Fi equipment included. Go to Xfinity.com to learn more and keep the magic going from your screen to the big screen. See Wicked only in theaters November 22nd. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Currently $66 a month. Actual speeds vary.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman of Hoffman Financial Group and the host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading and seeing and living through these days, from potential rate cuts to presidential elections, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on Portfolio X-ray, or click on Full Retirement Plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Men, if you're suffering from ED or PE, Priority Men's Medical Center will get your love life back in just one visit. Their painless, breakthrough medical treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments will restore your love life regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. Plus, you'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients will have their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To regain your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Don't get fooled by window fiction.
It's Ted and Jonathan from North Georgia Replacement Windows. Now they're calling it vinyl composite, but no matter how they say it, vinyl windows are still bulky, cheap, and plastic.
Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows are beautiful, not big and bulky like vinyl composite windows.
Experience the fiberglass difference at your home or in our new Alpharetta showroom. 0% interest available.
Infinity from Marvin Replacement Windows, yeah!
9:18 on the Mark Arum Show, set up construction in DeKalb County. Live with the latest, here's Mike Shields.
Yeah, watching the cones being set up on the jam cam here, Mark. I-20 eastbound getting past I-285 to Wesley Chapel Road. Right now, one left lane is blocked, and starting to see delays as you leave I-285. And delays in Lawrenceville out of Decula on Highway 316 westbound getting past Cedars Road. Roadwork set up in the left lane there as well. The support is brought to you by Train Heating and Cooling Systems. Train Heating and Cooling Systems are engineered to keep up with you. They run together. Visit traininfo.com to find a local independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he came in. And he's going to help make America healthy again.
President-elect Trump last night in West Palm Beach, Florida, during his victory speech. He gave the speech at 2:30 a.m. I was out cold. I'm assuming a lot of you folks are sleeping as well. So time permitting, Deborah, I want to play as much of it as I can in the 11 o'clock hour because I've just heard cuts of it. I haven't heard the whole victory speech. If we do hear from Kamala Harris, we will bring that to you live. Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger is going to hold a press conference at 10 a.m. He called it pretty early for Georgia. He like 2 hours before the networks. He's like, we're looking at the numbers. Trump's going to win Georgia. And then he kind of just dropped the mic and walked out. I wonder if Kamala's calling him right now. Brad, we just need 1.3 million votes. What can he do? Come on. That's all we need. 1.3 million. I don't know what the actual, you know what? Let me recheck as the numbers keep updating. What was the final total in Georgia? All right. Donald Trump won in Georgia, got 2.651 million votes. Kamala Harris, 2.533 million votes. So within that 1.5 point margin, which I was thinking. Anyway, if anything pops, we hear from Harris or Biden, we'll bring it to you live here on WSB Radio. Before I go into what we need to watch, actually, I'm going to wait. I'm going to go into that now, and Deborah, I'm going to come to you in a second on what I sent you. All right, so Trump 2.0. What are things we need to watch in the second Trump presidency? First off, we're going to find out real quick if Project 2025 is real or not. right? It's been published. There are former Trump handlers that are in charge of it. Trump distanced himself mightily from that. We're going to find out real quick if that's a real thing or not, if Trump's going to embrace Project 2025 and we got sandbagged or not. That's one thing I want to look out for. The Supreme Court. Keep an eye on the Supreme Court. So obviously Democrats are not going to pack the Supreme Court. The Republicans, I don't know, they have never talked about it, but now you got 4 more years of Trump. What are the ages and the health situations? Could we see a Clarence Thomas step down and former president or President-elect Trump? Gosh, he's been president, former president, now president-elect. I'm going to have to, let's see, president, former president, president-elect, PFPE. PFPE Trump. There, that's how I'm going to, let me write that down. PFPE Trump. Does he approach Clarence Thomas, be like, resign so we can replace you with someone that's 40 years old? So check the ages of the Supreme Court justices and the health of that, because the Supreme Court theoretically could get younger and more conservative in Trump 2.0. So that's one thing I'm going to watch. Here's a really important thing. The cabinet. What is the Trump cabinet going to look like? Apparently, they're already jockeying for positions there, and there might have been some deals cut prior to the election results. Elena Trine from CNN has been embedded with, of course, I don't have that. Where did I save that? She's been embedded with the Trump campaign and might have some insight onto what is going to happen with a Trump presidency, because he is not going to do what he did the first time, and appoint the generals and not appoint people that aren't completely loyal to him. Here's Elena Trine down in Florida.
Been talking to some of Donald Trump's allies, advisors, some of whom are, waking up from the brief nap they took after leaving that election party very early this morning. They're saying, as they're going through all this and re-examining his win, that they really are crediting Susie Wiles and Chris LaCivita, in particular, both Donald Trump's campaign managers, for running a disciplined campaign. And I think, look, there is no question that the people that Donald Trump surrounded himself with this time around was far more disciplined than than in his previous campaigns, both in 2016 and 2020, and also people that Donald Trump actually listened to. Now, we know that Donald Trump, of course, had a proclivity of getting in his own way, but for the most part, we know that Susie Wiles and Chris LaCivita had done a lot to really control other parts of it, of making sure that the entire Republican Party had a coordinated message, also combining forces with the RNC and merging their political operations. They are saying that they believe that is a huge reason why Donald Trump was successful. Now, of course, I will say, if it didn't go Donald Trump's way, you probably hear the same thing from these same people saying, well, it's their fault that this didn't happen. But they do argue that for someone like Donald Trump, who is off message a lot, who went off message a lot throughout the course of the campaigns, particularly in the final weeks, they think that behind the scenes to have some of that stability really did help them here. Now, one thing I do want to point out is Wiles in particular. She was hired in 2021, and she has remained at the top of Donald Trump's political operations since then. And that is a huge deal because, as we know, it is very hard in Trump world. It is very rare in Trump world to maintain a position of power for that long. And she continues to have a very good rapport with Donald Trump. I think a lot of people are looking now to see potentially what type of role she could take in Donald Trump's second administration. People say if she wants to be chief of staff, that role will probably be hers because of what she has done over the course of the last several years now leading up to this moment. And one other thing while we're talking about, what a potential second Trump administration, or not potential at this point, what a second Trump administration will look like. We are already hearing that the jockeying has commenced. I will say we hadn't seen much of that before, even though people were, throwing their names into the hat, trying to get an audience with Donald Trump's closest advisors about it. Donald Trump is very superstitious. He did not want to have any formal discussions about what his cabinet would look like or what any administrative roles would look like or make any promises to anyone. But now that is changing, of course. He's going to be in an official transition mode with just a couple months now until Inauguration Day. And so we're hearing a lot of people, at least I'm being told, as is our colleague Kristen Holmes, that many people are starting to reach out in earnest to those around Donald Trump, trying to see what positions they may be able to put themselves up for.
Elena Trine in West Palm Beach, embedded with the Trump campaign. She's been with Trump throughout. The architects of the Trump campaign, they are never going to have to worry about work ever again for the rest of their life. What they pulled off yesterday, they're going to be able to charge whatever they want for any political campaign. It's curious to see. I love that line there that Trump's superstitious. As someone that's superstitious, he didn't want to talk about who's going to be his campaign or who's going to be in his cabinet until he wins. He's won. Now we're going to see. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Could that be a possibility? Where's Musk going to fit in on this? Something certainly need to watch. All right. Some more things we have to watch about this. Ukraine and Russia, right? What's going to happen with the Russia-Ukraine war and what's going to happen in Israel? This is where I turn to Deborah Green. We're hearing from world leaders reacting to President Trump's victory, and they're already sending their well wishes. What have we heard so far?
Yeah, a couple things have been posted online from Volodymyr Zelensky in the Ukraine. Congratulations, Trump, on his impressive election victory. I appreciate President Trump's commitment to peace through strength approach in global affairs. This is exactly the principle that can practically bring just peace in Ukraine closer. I'm hopeful that we can put it into action together. So that's from the Ukraine. Let's see. We've got Israel here. Congratulations on history's greatest comeback. Your historic return to the White House offers a new beginning for America and a powerful recommitment to great alliance between Israel and America.
Benjamin Netanyahu, psyched. He's pumped right now.
Yes. He's saying it's a huge victory for them. Out of France, Macron says, congratulations, President Trump, ready to work together as we did for 4 years with your convictions in mind, with respect and ambition for more peace and prosperity. That one's pretty simple. And then India. Heartiest congratulations to my friend Donald Trump for your historic election victory. Together, let's work for the betterment of our people and to promote global peace, stability, and prosperity.
So we've heard from Ukraine, Israel, France, India. We've also heard from Russia, but it's not what you might have thought the reaction in Russia would be to President Trump winning re-election. I'll inform you on what Russia's reaction has been, and we'll break down what is the mythical creature, the political unicorn that is Donald J. Trump. News, weather, and traffic straight away, and then our post-election coverage continues right here on The Mark Arum Show. The rental rush is here. Hey, it's Mark Arum from my good friends at Renters Warehouse. With all the talk about commissions in the news lately, doesn't selling your house feel more volatile and uncertain than ever? Well, it does to me. It's one more reason why renting your home is so much smarter, especially when you hire my pals at Renters Warehouse to manage your property for you. Renting cuts through the confusion so you can be confident in your ability to earn monthly cash flow, appreciation, and tax benefits for the long term. And with Renters Warehouse managing your property, you can sit back and collect the money. Tenants, they find the best. Rent, they collect for you. Maintenance request, they handle them 24/7, all for one low monthly flat fee, and they'll even warranty your tenants for free. Remember, selling is uncertain, but renting is reliable, especially with the experienced Renters Warehouse team on your side. Find out how much rent your home can get by visiting rwatlanta.com today. That's rwatlanta.com, or call 404-662-2322.
Why should you do your shopping at D. Geller & Son this holiday season? Because you don't want to end up like shouldn't have case number 674.
Okay, everyone, let's open our gifts. Honey, you go first.
Oh, perfume. You really shouldn't have.
It's in my throat.
It's in my eyes.
What? It's not that bad.
Shouldn't have gone with the perfume. This year, take the risk out of holiday shopping with a beautiful gift from D. Geller & Son. A breath of fresh air since 1939.
Can you believe it, friends? Fall is here. Now's the time to get your home's roof, siding, and windows ready for the change of season. Mark Arum back from my pals at Dr. Roof. They are here to help you with your roofing, siding, and windows, and they have a new program to help you get your project done while you can hold on to your cash. Dr. Roof offering buy now and pay later programs just for a limited time. So imagine upgrading your roof, siding, or windows now and paying later. Sure can't beat that from someone who's been around for over 35 years. Call them now to see if you qualify for a program that fits your needs.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 9:30. I'm Chet Hickenbotham. News this half hour brought to you by Advanced Hair Restoration. Our top story as the country digests the re-election of Donald Trump as the next president of the United States. We begin to look into the polling numbers, all important numbers. Correspondent Rebecca Jarvis notes the economy was the top issue for so many voters, with many saying they just were worse off than they were 4 years ago.
When I talked to voters all over the country, it wasn't their 401ks or the strong jobs market that they were focusing on. When people talked about the economy as their top top issue, what they meant was inflation, higher prices. Those hit people on the tightest budgets the very hardest.
And Trump will likely have a very friendly Congress to work with in January. Republicans able to flip control of the U.S. Senate with big wins in Ohio and West Virginia last night, and polling appears to show Republicans will hold on to control in the House as well. It is currently 70 degrees in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says we'll see cloudy skies, chance of rain throughout your Wednesday. The high will stay just in the low 70s. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. Now, as Donald Trump prepares for a new term in the White House, his legal cases now face an uncertain future.
Earlier this year, Donald Trump was convicted on 34 felony counts in New York, and sentencing is scheduled for next week. But Emory Law professor John Acevedo says his election victory puts us into uncharted waters.
It's interesting. We actually have no precedent for what to do with cases. It's always been thought that cases would be suspended against a sitting president.
Acevedo says pending trials in Fulton County and elsewhere could also be put on hold for the duration of Trump's 4-year term. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Well, Georgia sees record turnout of more than 5.2 million people in this general election. That shatters the previous record of just about 5 million voters. That was set 4 years ago. It was the higher turnout in rural areas that really helped Mr. Trump take the state, running up his vote total in those areas and offsetting Vice President Harris's big lead in more urban places, including those around Metro Atlanta. Meanwhile, familiar faces from Georgia are set to return to their roles on Capitol Hill.
Most of Metro Atlanta's congressional delegation will be returning to Washington, D.C., with incumbent Congresswomen Marjorie Taylor Greene, Nikema Williams, and Lucy McBath all winning re-election. The men also not being outdone as Congressman David Scott, Barry Loudermilk, Mike Collins, Rich McCormick, and Hank Johnson all head back, and joining them will be Brian Jack. He's representing District 3. Other notable Georgia reps heading back include Buddy Carter, Sanford Bishop, Andrew Clyde, and Austin Scott. Michelle Wright, 95.5 WSB.
A reminder, you can see the breakdown of how states voted, as well as real-time election results as they continue to come in from around the country right here, and here in Georgia as well, right here on WSBRadio.com and on the WSB Radio app. It is 9:33. As we check your money now, stock futures really surged overnight following the announcement of Donald Trump as the next president. More than 1,000 points in the Dow, more than 120 points for the S&P. And boy, that trend has really continued as the bell rings on Wall Street. The Dow opening up almost 1,300 points right now. The NASDAQ is up about 330 points, and the S&P is up 110 points here early on a Wednesday, the day after Election Day. Now live team coverage of traffic and weather. We start the WSB 24-hour traffic center and Mike Shields.
And Judd, here unit just moved a stall to the right shoulder. All lanes back open on the south side perimeter. 285 westbound, the inner loop right at I-75. They had to block lanes to do so, though, but everything's back open and things going to move much better getting around the airport. Also moving better is in Marietta on I-75 southbound. Getting past South Marietta Parkway to 263. Crash cleared out of the left lane there. And all volume in Gwinnett County, 85 southbound. Still sluggish as you leave 316 getting down to I-285. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina
Georgia.
Edwards. Cloudy with hit or miss rain showers today.
3
in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with an isolated rain shower possible, high 75. And on Friday, partly cloudy, high 77.
It is 69 degrees right now in Duluth, 70 in Mableton, 71 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. More news at 10, breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
The most consequential election of our time is over.
This is a magnificent victory for the American people.
Donald Trump will return to the White House as the next president of the United States.
Make America great.
Stay with WSB for all the information you need from now through Inauguration
We're going to
Day.
make you very happy. We're going to make you very proud of your vote.
95.5 WSB.
Your 2024 election station.
Has given us an unprecedented and powerful mandate. We have taken back control of the Senate. Wow.
Former President Trump yesterday in his victory speech, actually early this morning. What will the House and Senate look like? We'll update in 2 minutes on the Mark Arum Show.
You still want a new deck on your house, but you think you may have missed a deck building window? Well, you're wrong. Dave Baker here. At Ben Hill Renovations, deck building goes on year-round. Whether your existing deck is old, rotting, and unsafe, or you just want to upgrade your outdoor living space, now is the perfect time to get the ball rolling. Check out their new website at bhrenovations.com. Better yet, go to their showroom, speak with the designer, and see all that they have to offer up close. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
At Humana, our Medicare Advantage plans give you coverage and care you can count on, along with guided support to help you feel your best. Our licensed sales agents are ready to help you understand your options and choose a Medicare Advantage plan. You'll feel confident because you have plan options that fit your needs. You could have a plan with a $0 premium and even personalized care from a wide network of doctors, or all-in-one plans that may include medical and prescription coverage, as well as routine dental, vision, and hearing. When it comes to the benefits and support you need, Humana has Medicare Advantage plans made for your well-being and your wallet. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Hot water heater just not cutting it anymore? You don't get that piping hot shower you want every morning? Hey, it's Mark Aaron back from my friends at Reliable Heating and Air. Check out this amazing deal. New water heater, only $29.99 a month, and make no payments for 3 whole months. Or you can go tankless, only $59.99 a month, and you can enjoy that lovely, endless hot water. Same day water heater installation guaranteed, or they pay you $300. Get that new water heater now. Save a ton of money. Just go online to reliableair.com.
Welcome your guests into a healthy home this Thanksgiving by calling the cleaning pros at Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Mention WSB Radio and you'll get $50 off your next air duct cleaning. Use promo code AIR50 when scheduling online at ZeroResAtlanta.com.
9:37 on this post-election day edition of the Mark Arum Show. Coming up in 1 hour, Eric Erickson's going to join us live with his reaction to a historic victory by President-elect Grover Cleveland J. Trump. The markets, as judges mentioned, through the roof. 11 o'clock, we're going to check in with Bloomberg News. They're all over the financials of yesterday's election. Well, this morning's call at 5:30 this morning, the Badger State pushes President Trump over the magic 270 mark, and he's going to win the popular vote, which I personally did not see coming. We're going to get to the Russian reaction to Trump's election victory yesterday in just a second. But I said yesterday on the roundtable, Deborah, that I can only think of one person that is going to be happy no matter who wins. And that person is President Joe Biden. We haven't heard from Biden yet. But my thought was it was win-win for Joe Biden. If Kamala Harris won, he would be able to say, "You're welcome, America. I stepped down. I saved democracy. You know, I'm a hero, a Democratic hero forever." If Kamala won, he would have been able to say that. If Trump won, he'd be like, I told you fools, I was the only one that could beat Trump. So Biden is really happy this morning. Do you know who's the second most happy person this morning? That comedian, Tony Hinchcliffe. Yeah, he's like, he's breathing a sigh of relief, like, I didn't tank the Trump campaign. Because if he lost, like, there was going to be some major finger pointing. So he's waking up. I bet he was biting his nails last night going, oh, my God, what did I do? What did I do? So those, I think, aside from the Trump family, those are the two happiest people today, Biden and Hinchcliffe. One more thing, back to Biden, before we get to the Russian reaction. What we see this morning in the aftermath of the election results, I think actually Biden would have done worse than Harris did. Just because of where the economy is, the border. I think that Harris did better than Biden did, but I don't think any Democrat would have won last night. I don't. You could throw Michelle Obama out there. You could throw Josh Shapiro, whomever you wanted to throw. I don't think any Democrat was going to win last night. After what we saw, Trump won the popular vote. The blue wall crushed. The Sun Belt was belted. There's no current Democrat in the political sphere that would have won yesterday. I'm pretty confident that. Here, one more observation. The vice presidential picks, they don't matter. They matter
never have.
At all. If, there's going to be a lot of hand-wringing in Democratic circles. Oh, if Kamala had picked Shapiro from Pennsylvania, she would have won. All right, if she would have won Pennsylvania, she still loses. She lost Wisconsin, and the VP picks do not matter whatsoever when it comes to ballots. All right, there's another observation. I'm going to be sprinkling in these observations throughout the show. All right, so we heard from Zelensky was out front. He's like, oh boy, I better congratulate Trump. Netanyahu, obviously, and we're going to go to Israel at 10:05 and get reaction in Israel. India reacted. France reacted. Looking for reaction from Vladimir Putin, and we did not hear it or didn't hear what we expected. Nick Robertson, international correspondent, has more.
Yeah, this is coming from Dmitry Peskov, the President Vladimir Putin's spokesperson at the Kremlin. And he says this, when asked the question about why hasn't Vladimir Putin congratulated President-elect Donald Trump, and he said this: let's not forget that we're talking about an unfriendly country that is both directly and indirectly involved in a war against our state. So that is the Russian position on that. Now, Peskov was pressed by the journalists on his daily press briefing phone call. Well, isn't this going to put you in a bad and worse position with the United States? Because it's very clear, the implication in the question, that President Trump likes to get these congratulations early. We've heard from the British just earlier today. We've heard from many European leaders earlier today congratulating President-elect Donald Trump. And Peskov's answer was this, and he said, look, the relationship is really bad. How can it get any worse than it is already? And this is clearly a reference to something else that Peskov talked about in that phone call with journalists, saying that the United States is in a position to end the war in Ukraine, where Russia considers itself to be essentially in a war confronted by the United States, involving the United States. So the Kremlin's position on this, I think, gives us a hint about what Donald Trump has spoken about previously, about ending the war in Ukraine in the matter of a day. Russia's position on this is clearly going to be tough. And as Peskov went on to say in this phone conversation, that this issue over Ukraine is not going to be ended quickly. That is clearly going to be a tough road ahead for President-elect Donald Trump.
So we haven't heard from Vladimir Putin, but Peskov, the Kremlin spokesperson, said, there's no congratulatory thing. America's our enemy, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, that's the public-facing front of this. Now, Trump has said throughout the campaign he's going to end the Russia-Ukraine war in one day. We'll see what happens there. But obviously, a lot of questions surrounding it. I personally have to think, this is what that Peskov said, but I'm pretty sure Putin is pretty happy with this outcome, right? Because now all future Ukrainian funding from the U.S. is in doubt. What's NATO going to do now? But there's been no congratulatory call that we know of between Vladimir Putin and Donald J. Trump, which I thought might have been the first call. He might have called down to Mar-a-Lago at 2 a.m, but apparently, at least in the public, he hasn't. All right, obviously the headlines, Jim Ryan from ABC News, have been the presidential race, but we can't forget the balance of power still up in the air, was up in the air last night in the Senate and in the House of Representatives. What do we know this morning?
Well, we don't know yet about the House. I mean, there are still a lot of races out there yet to be decided and votes to be counted. But in terms of the Senate, looks as though the GOP is going to have its widest lead in the upper house in decades, really, in years at least. A lead that could be as many as 8 or 9 seats in the U.S. Senate once this is all shaken out over the next few days. But, yeah, that's how it's all coming together, Mark, that, yes, the White House has gone to the Republicans, the Senate now as well. We'll find out about the House later.
How big a margin of majority will the Republicans have in the Senate? Do we know that number yet?
Well, it's going to be as few as 5, perhaps, as many as 8 or 9 seats altogether, which would be huge. It'll take years probably for the Democrats to, A, figure out what happened there, B, try to overcome that. They'll have a busy 2 years until the midterms in 2026, but it's trying to scrape together some kind of strategy. But and in the meantime, this Republican Senate is going to have a Republican president to work with and vice versa. This will make it much easier for President Trump, A, to get a legislative agenda passed, but also to get his cabinet nominees, some of them quite controversial, RFK, for example, to have those folks confirmed.
Jim Ryan, ABC, joining us on the Mark Arum Show. Democrats had hoped to retake control of the House. There's a very slim Republican majority. I know a lot of eyes on some New York congressional races, some California congressional races. Still waiting to see what goes on in California, but what happened in New York?
Yeah, it's a great question. It looks as as though the Democrats were able to hold on to some of those key seats or those key precincts in New York, and in fact win over possibly a couple of those as well. And certainly the Democrats are holding out hope that somehow there would be some good news coming out of last night, that the 2024 general election would give perhaps the Democrats a lead in the House. That way, I mean, you'd have it's almost like flipping the opposite direction, right? The Democrats held control of the Senate, the Republicans over the House. It could be that those two seats are going to change, and that we'll have the opposite here going forward, at least for the next couple of years.
So much money spent in the presidential race, but if you go down ballot, historical spending in the Senate races in both Ohio and in Texas, Ted Cruz survives.
Yes, and that was the biggest, most expensive Senate race in the whole country, Mark. Colin Allred, the Democratic challenger to Ted Cruz, spent $100 million, much of it raised in donations from well outside of Texas. Ted Cruz spent $65 million to defend his seat and came out on top, came out successful. And in fact, 6 years ago, if you remember the name Beto O'Rourke, he was the congressman from far west Texas, from El Paso, who mounted his own campaign against Ted Cruz, came with within 2.6% of defeating him. The margin yesterday was much wider than that, something like 5 or 6% separating Cruz from Colin Allred.
One of the last high-profile Senate races was Arizona. Kari Lake, the Republican nominee. How did Arizona fall out?
That was one that had been watched for a long time. Kari Lake, a disciple and certainly supported by President Trump. She, unfortunately for her case, came out unsuccessful. Gallego, the Democrat in that race, has defeated Kari Lake in Arizona. We got 60% of the votes counted, but Gallego holds a lead, about 3% lead over Kari Lake.
There you go, Jim. Historic night, coast to coast. As always, appreciate your time, my friend.
Thanks, Mark.
Eric Erickson's going to join us, break down the down ballot, the balance of power questions at 10:35. Coming up at 10:05, we're going to go live to Jerusalem, see how Israelis are reacting to the Trump re-election. We're going to check the red-hot stock market with Bloomberg News, and, of course, continue our complete post-historic election coverage throughout the day here on 95.5 WSB.
The most consequential election of our time is over.
Donald Trump will return to the White House as the next president of the United States.
Well, I want to thank you all very much.
Stay with WSB for all the information you need from now through Inauguration Day.
This is a movement like nobody's ever seen before.
95.5 WSB.
Your 2024 election station.
Hey, it's Scott Slade from iRoofer, FGA Roofing. If your home's exterior could use an updated look, or maybe one of your neighbor's designer roofs has caught your eye, visit firstgaroof.com for the latest in designer architectural shingles. firstgaroof.com.
Coming up from the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, a Delta classical concert featuring music director Natalie Stutzman conducting Bruckner's Heroic Fourth Symphony, November 14th and 16th at Symphony Hall. Details at aso.org.
When historians look back, they're going to say, oh, that was a red-letter day in Atlanta history when QC Kinetics arrived. Hey, it's Mark Aaron back with you. You know, the demand for QC treatment so strong, opening another clinic, this one in Douglasville, while continuing treatment in Lawrenceville, Sandy Springs, Marietta, and Stockbridge. Friends, QC Kinetics, a game changer. The nation's leader in regenerative medicine, using a modern-day approach to deal with chronic joint pain. All-natural process that uses healing properties from your own body to restore and repair damaged tissue in your joints. So what's that mean? It means you can get your life back, be active again without that chronic pain and without surgery or drugs. Stop putting it off. If you have arthritic pain or pain from an injury, do what so many others have already done. Call QC Kinetics, free consultation. Call now, 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026. QC Kinetics. Call them, 770-285-8026.
Between all the holiday parties,
weekend tailgates,
and family get-togethers. Oh, they're here. Hey, who needs something to drink?
we've been overindulging a little more than usual. Thank goodness we both added active liver to our diets to give our livers some much needed support so we have the energy we need to enjoy the holidays.
Active Liver from New Nordic contains a powerful blend of turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke extract designed to give your liver maximum protection and help it do vital jobs like removing toxins from alcohol, rich foods, and sweets.
Try Active Liver today and enjoy all the holiday treats with the peace of mind of knowing you're giving your liver some relief.
Active Liver is available in both a delicious gummy or tablet. You can find Active Liver in stores at CVS or Meijer or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
Hey, Belinda here, and I have Barry Petrie, Director of Virtual Imaging. Barry has a very interesting testimonial to share with our listeners. Barry, tell us your story.
Well, Belinda, exactly a year ago when I took over my role, one of the first things I did was scan. And at the time, I was 54 years old, never had any issues, was in a good shape, worked out every day. And I was shocked to find out that I had a score of over 1,000 on my calcium. So, and most of that 1,000 was concentrated in my LAD, which you know is the widowmaker.
Not good.
So immediately started working with an interventional cardiologist, started working with a functional medicine specialist to try to correct that. And unfortunately, about 4 months ago, I started having symptoms and rescanned, and at this point my calcium score had gone from 1,000 over 1,500, and that LAD score had gone up to over 1,000. So long story short, ended up going to Northside, getting a stent put into my LAD, and now today I feel great. I regained the gear that I didn't know that I had lost, and had I not taken this role as director of virtual imaging a year ago, I probably would have not known this, and I could have been one of those folks that looks perfectly healthy and drops dead.
Absolutely. Folks, that story hits home. What are you waiting for? Go to Virtual Imaging and get a complimentary heart scan for you and your spouse. Call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or visit virtualimagingatl.com. It could save your life.
9:52 on the Mark Arum Show. Checking delays 400. What can you tell us, Mike Shields?
Yeah, moving much better. We had an issue clear out of lanes 400 southbound, getting past Mansell Road, exit 8. All lanes back open. A little sluggish, though, as you leave Old Milton Parkway and heads up in downtown Atlanta. Gas leak right now. Crews have MLK Jr. Drive shut off at Piedmont Avenue in front of the Capitol as they work to contain that. This report is brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Save for Thanksgiving at Whole Foods Market. Prime members get $3.65 by Whole Foods Market frozen whole turkey for $1.49 per pound through December 3rd while supplies last. Shop in store, online, terms apply. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
Post-election day edition of the Mark Arum Show rolls along on this Wednesday morning. Let's head up to New York City. ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers. Karen, good morning. Have we had any reaction to the historic Trump win yesterday from either the Biden White House or Vice President Harris?
Not yet. I mean, they have been very silent since last night. We are expecting the vice president will speak at some point today. Her campaign co-chair, former Congressman Cedric Richmond, came out to that crowd that was gathered at Howard University last night and said, go home. Everybody, you've been waiting here a long time. Head out, but come back tomorrow, and she will come back and speak. So we don't know yet when that's going to happen, but likely this afternoon. But otherwise, the campaign has been very quiet since the last thing we had heard from them, which was a note that the campaign essentially the manager had sent to staff saying, be patient. There are votes still coming in. Let's get some sleep and see how things play out overnight. Obviously, overnight, it did not go their way. And I think, it's a really tough day for the campaign because they certainly thought yesterday, going into Election Day, that they were poised to win a very close race. That's what they kept saying. They weren't expecting a blowout. They knew this would be very tight, but they thought that that path in the blue wall states of Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, that they could get those to get to 270.
Yeah, we heard from the campaign and surrogates that they were, quote, nauseously optimistic about the election. Yeah. Internally, do we know what went wrong where they thought they had a chance to win this and obviously they didn't?
When you look at the exit polls, I think an important thing to note is that Donald Trump, really gained on his margin from 2020. He gained in counties. He built up on his support from the previous election. And there was a lot of, Harris campaign talk ahead of time that they felt he had a ceiling. He had his base, but he wasn't going to grow his vote. He did last night. He grew his vote among young men. He grew it among Latino voters. She still won them, but he dramatically shifted the margin on that. And that was big and significant in some battleground states. I think overall, when you kind of look at a map where it does, how counties shifted, when they do like arrows going red or blue, it was a dramatic red wave all across the country.
Indeed. Karen Travers, ABC, joining us on the Mark Arum Show. We expect to hear from Vice President Harris today. Will we hear from President Biden? He's been oddly quiet as well.
Yeah, it's a great question. We haven't heard from him this week. Traditionally, presidents give a press conference after after election days, midterms or other things that are big like this. This question came up at the White House briefing last week of whether he would do a press conference, and his press secretary didn't. I know it's a tradition, I know, but they didn't commit to it. We'll hear from him. I think they're going to let Vice President Harris have her day today, let the dust settle a little bit, but I think we'll hear from him before the end of the week.
Here's a question that's been jumping around my mind since about 11 p.m. last night. The Trump inauguration, he obviously didn't go to the Biden inauguration. Will Biden go to the Trump inauguration?
Right. That question came up at the briefing last week, and Karine Jean-Pierre said, yes, he will go to the inauguration, no matter who won.
What about Vice President Harris? Has she committed either way?
I don't think that has been posed to her. I think she was probably focused on it being her own inauguration, so that question hasn't come up.
Got it. Karen Travis, ABC News. Karen, as always, appreciate your time.
Thanks. Have a great day.
If we do hear from Vice President Harris or President Trump, we'll bring it to you live here on the Mark Arum Show. I like the fact that Biden has committed to going to the Trump inauguration. I think that's the way you do it, the peaceful transfer of power. I respect that. I can't imagine Harris is going to show up. I don't know what the protocol is if the vice president always goes to the inauguration, especially since she was the candidate that was defeated. I don't know, what the historical precedent. I can't imagine she does go. But I think that'd be a nice return to normalcy. Obviously, Trump didn't go to the Biden inauguration, but Biden is committed to go to the Trump inauguration. So, I think that's good, right? Let's
no sore winners, no sore losers.
Yeah,
right?
Peaceful transfer of power. That's the way it should be. So, and Biden might be grinning. He might be like, "I told you so. I wasn't old. I wasn't too old. I'm the only one that could have beat Trump." Anyway, speaking of Biden, so he is legit. I mean, he's been a lame duck, but what's he going to do between now and January 6th? Right? He's unchained. If he knows it, that he can, literally do whatever he wants. That's another thing we got to watch out for. What's Biden going to do now that there are zero repercussions politically for him or Harris? All right, quick break. News, weather, and traffic. When we come back, international reaction to the Trump victory continues. What are they saying in Israel and the Mideast in general? Robert Berger joining us live from Jerusalem. Still to come, Eric Erickson live. And if you missed it, the Trump victory speech was at 2:30 this morning. I'm going to play it for you in case you missed it, because I certainly did. I was sawing wood. Social media is active at Mark Arum and at WSB Radio.
WSB Atlanta, WSB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
We are here with the CFP Matthew Decker of the Vincent Financial Group. And Matt, let's talk about your process when building retirement strategies.
Well, it frustrates us to hear story after story of bad advice, poor advice, or even no advice when making decisions regarding retirement, which is something you've worked your entire life for. That's why at the Vincent Financial Group, we've built our process focused on 3 key areas. Number 1, we've got to control your risk. We know that the market's not going to cooperate with your plans, and your risk has to be in line with how you feel. Otherwise, things go wrong quickly. Number 2, we've got to find a way to minimize the taxes that you're going to pay to Uncle Sam. Paying more in taxes doesn't make you more of a patriot. And number 3, we really need to create an income plan for you and a legacy plan for your family. That's why we offer a no-cost, no-obligation consultation to begin helping you understand how to properly prepare for a stress-free retirement.
All right, Matt, what's the easiest way to schedule that initial conversation with you and the team at the Vincent Financial Group?
I would love it if you would call today. We have a team member standing by to answer any questions and to schedule a time for you to meet with myself or with Aaron Vincent. 770-280-1488. That's 770-280-1488. And remember, that initial consultation is never a cost and no obligation.
You can find the home office of the Vincent Financial Group in downtown Woodstock, but there are multiple opportunities to meet across Metro Atlanta. Plus, these Zoom consultations are always available. 770-280-1488. That's 770-280-1488. And we invite you to check out the Retire ATL podcast. It is available across all podcast platforms. And to get more, just visit retireatlradio.com.
By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance products, including annuities, offered through Matthew Decker, Georgia Insurance License Number 2880209. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties.
news,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. Donald Trump will be headed back to the White House come January after defeating Vice President Kamala Harris in the presidential election.
This will truly be the golden age of America. That's what we have to have.
In a victory speech, Mr. Trump vowed to deliver a prosperous America. Wall Street opening sharply higher this morning as former president reclaimed the White House. Shares in Tesla surged more than 10%, with bank stocks also boosting markets. After the opening bell, the Dow Jones Industrial Average jumped about 1,300 points. Let's take a look at it now. The Dow currently up 1,180. At 43,402, so the Dow's up almost 3%, NASDAQ's up almost 2%, and the S&P is currently up more than 1.5%. Trump senior advisor Jason Miller says Trump will get right to work in January.
As we go into re-up the Trump tax cuts and we put in some of these bold, innovative ideas, such as no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, these are things that will improve people's lives right away.
And this morning, foreign leaders are sending their congratulations to the president-elect. CBS's Holly Williams says this leaves the future of Ukraine uncertain.
I was in Ukraine just last month. There was extreme anxiety on that front. And if Trump does, in fact, stop supplying Ukraine with arms, it will be viewed by many Ukrainians, as well as many citizens of America's other allies, as a betrayal.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu calls Trump's win a huge victory. All right, your weather for today. Cloudy with hit or miss rain showers throughout the day with a high around 72. We'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just a couple of minutes. Now to Congress. Republicans flip control of the U.S. Senate with wins in Ohio and West Virginia, and Republicans will likely hold on to control of the House. Here in Georgia, 2 statewide constitutional amendments and 1 referendum were approved. The approval of Amendment 1 means that home property assessments will be capped at the inflation rate for the previous year. That change going into effect on January 1st. Amendment 2 creates a new state tax court, and the statewide referendum will increase the tax exemption for tangible personal property from $7,500 to $20,000. That increase exemption will go into effect also on the 1st of January. Many feared that stolen election claims from 2020 would reemerge in 2024, but that seems unlikely with a more decisive outcome this time.
Emory Law Professor John Acevedo does not anticipate significant legal challenges, and that may restore faith in the process for some.
I think what we're going to see, though, are local state officials throughout the nation reasserting that their processes work, which will be a good thing. I think in the end that'll make voters believe in the system a bit more.
As for the various pending legal cases against Trump, Acevedo says there's no precedent for comparison. He suspects they'll be suspended or even dismissed altogether. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Election day is finally over, but the outcome could have an impact on consumer spending this holiday season. Correspondent Willie James Inman reports.
According to a new survey from software company ShipStation, 35% of respondents said the election results would impact their shopping budget. More younger shoppers, known as Gen Zs, said the election would impact their holiday spending, with almost half saying they'd take the results into consideration, compared to just 28% of baby boomers who said the same.
And nearly a quarter of the millennials, those 28 to 44, and Generation Z, 18 to 27, those who were surveyed also said that they are delaying major purchases like homes and cars. They said they were going to delay that until after the election. It's 10:03. That means time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Good morning, Sabrina. Some trouble out of Alpharetta heading into Roswell. It looks like a crash. Trying to get it off to the side. 400 southbound, Mansell Road, exit number 8. So you're slow as you leave Haynesbridge Road. Also, we've been dealing with stalled tractor trailer, 285 northbound in DeKalb. The outer loop ramp to I-85 north. So you're seeing delays out of the Clarkston area. And don't forget about that gas leak next to the Capitol, shutting down Martin Luther King Jr. Drive right around Piedmont Avenue. Police directing traffic there. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy skies today with hit or miss rain showers, high 72. Lows tonight in the mid-60s. Holding on to the cloud cover tomorrow with an isolated rain shower, high 75. A little bit more sunshine by Friday, high 77.
71 degrees in Midtown Atlanta. We will have more news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good Wednesday morning to you. Mark Arum here, you there. It's 10:05, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Arum Show live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WSB. Whole gang here post-election. Deborah Green, the executive producer of the show. Longoria, the stoic Eskimo on the other side of the takeout window. Sweet Pea Purnell screens your calls. 30 minutes from now, Eric Erickson's going to join us live, break down the surprising results in some states of last night's presidential election and what it means down ballot. Right now, we continue our team coverage of international reaction to former President Trump, now President-elect Trump. Joining us live from Jerusalem, CBS Radio News correspondent Robert Berger. Robert, as always, appreciate your time.
Good morning.
One of the first world leaders to offer President-elect Trump congratulations was Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. No surprise there, right?
Right. He said congratulations on history's greatest comeback and called it a huge victory. So with exclamation points. So Netanyahu, I think, quite happy about this. It's no secret.
Robert, what about reaction across the Mideast? What does Trump's reelection do with Israel's war against Hamas, Israel Hezbollah, Israel Iran? What's the broad overview right now?
Well, it's sort of a mixed bag, I would say. Even though Netanyahu being excited about the Trump victory, because basically Trump is seen as friendlier to Israel, especially on the issues of the war. But Trump, he hasn't gone too far. He's actually said, he didn't say a lot about the war, but he said Israel has a right to defend itself, but he's also said that Israel should finish it. And I remember that quote well, Israel should finish it, and what's going on is really bad for Israel's image. So there are some pundits here who feel that Israel would be wise to try and finish the war in Lebanon and Gaza by January 20th. We'll have to wait and see.
Robert, I would imagine Israeli citizens, before the election results and now certainly after, first issue top of mind is the remaining hostages in Gaza. Does Trump's election complicate a hostage deal or make it easier for the hostages to come home?
Well, that's hard to say. I mean, President Biden wasn't able to do it. I don't think President Trump has any influence over Hamas, to be honest. But what he would have influence over is, like I mentioned earlier, if Israel decides to end the war, that's been Hamas's key demand, that Israel, in order to get the hostages back, about 100 hostages left in Gaza, of whom about 65 are believed to be alive, they want a complete end to the war. Israel hasn't been willing to do that because there are still tunnels in Gaza, lots of weapons, lots of terrorists. But if Israel decides that the best plan is to try and end the war before Trump comes in, then maybe there could be a hostage deal.
Interesting. Now, obviously, President Biden's advice, suggestions to Prime Minister Netanyahu, some have been heeded, others have been ignored. What's the power struggle going to look like between a President Trump and a Prime Minister Netanyahu? Will the Prime Minister, take what Trump says more seriously than what Biden has said?
I think so. I mean, they've had sort of an unusual relationship. It actually was very good. A lot of people compare Netanyahu to Trump, a right-wing, a hawkish leader. They're similar in some ways, but then there was a falling out after the last election when Netanyahu congratulated Biden on his victory. Trump was angry because, of course, Trump felt that he hadn't lost the election, and then he started saying some not so nice things about Netanyahu. But I think Biden has made some threats along the way here. He's tried to restrain Israel from going into Rafah, from going into Lebanon. He's cut back on some weapons. The assumption is that Trump wouldn't do that and will give Israel what it needs to defend itself.
I think we've seen, we've got a pretty deep political history now of President Trump that you could have had a dust up with the former president, We've seen a lot of American political leaders that have had their issues with Trump, but if you come back and I don't want to say bend the knee, but you make amends, Trump will welcome you back with open arms. And I suspect that's what we're going to see. We're going to see a great relationship between Trump and Netanyahu going forward.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Let's remember the relationship between President Biden and Netanyahu was strained.
Yeah.
Very strained. I mean, even though, America's been strongly behind Israel for the most part during the war, I mean, Biden made no bones about it that he really didn't like Netanyahu. So I would expect an improvement in relations. For instance, Biden didn't even invite Netanyahu to the White House. So that's been strained, and I would expect definitely an improvement in relations there.
Robert Berger joining us live from Jerusalem on the Mark Arum Show. I mentioned, the reaction from Iran and Lebanon. Have we heard from the Saudis, Jordan, Qatar, any of our, quote, allies in the region? Are they okay with a second Trump presidency?
Jordan certainly has come out. I saw a statement from both Jordan and Saudi Arabia. I think they'll be perfectly comfortable with the Trump presidency. You did mention Iran, and that's another issue that's looming here. With people, we've been expecting now that Iran is going to retaliate for Israel's airstrikes on Iran about 10 days ago, and that's that's another big issue that will be facing Trump. America has certainly defended Israel, but hasn't been willing to do anything offensive. Trump, by the way, said that, hey, Israel should attack Iran's nuclear facilities. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens with Iran over the next few weeks.
Robert, final question for you. You've been so focused on the election here in the States. Have I missed any headlines out of Israel in the fighting with Hezbollah and Hamas? Is there anything that's floating under the U.S. radar on that front?
Well, I guess the big story is political. Was last night on election night. Netanyahu fired his defense minister, Yoav Gallant, which has really created a political firestorm over here. We just talked about Iran possibly attacking Israel in the coming days, and now Netanyahu has fired his defense minister over disagreements about how the war has been going. So a lot of political turmoil over here against the background of the U.S. election.
Prime Minister emboldened perhaps by a Trump win that he said, all right, Gallant, you're out?
Well, I think he chose the election night to do this because most likely it would have been criticized by the U.S. I mean, there was a good working relationship between Gallant, the defense minister, and Lloyd Austin, the defense secretary over there. So the U.S. certainly wouldn't be happy about this, but now it all flew under the radar, at least in the U.S.
Robert Berger, as always, amazing insight. Thank you so much for your time, my friend.
Thanks, Mark.
There you go. We'll monitor international reaction throughout the day here to the Trump re-election. Speaking of Trump, I said at the top of the show, this dude is a mythical political creature. He is a political unicorn. I'll explain what separates him from mere mortals next on the Mark Arum Show.
The votes are in, and Donald Trump wins his second term in the White House.
We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything.
Election Day 2024.
The votes have been counted.
So I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being...
Stay with 95.5 WSB for all the information you need about the Trump transition.
Every single day I will be fighting for you.
95.5 WSB.
Your 2024 election station.
Anything better when the temperatures drop and it's freezing outside and you're nice and toasty inside? I can't wait. Hey, it's Mark Arum, back from my friends at Reliable Heating and Air. Check out this amazing furnace offer going on right now. $59.99 a month. That's it for any size furnace. And ask about their clean air upgrades. Stay warm and toasty with my friends at Reliable Air. Schedule your free consultation today by visiting reliableair.com. That's reliableair.com.
Men, if you're suffering from ED or PE, Priority Men's Medical Center will get your love life back in just one visit. Their painless, breakthrough medical treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments will restore your love life regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. Plus, you'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients will have their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To regain your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
If you have water stains or an older roof and need repair work or an estimate, try My Roofer, FGA Roofing. Or if you'd like to upgrade your exterior with designer architectural shingles, try FGA Roofing. This is Scott Slade. For quality and craftsmanship, go to firstgaroof.com.
I served my country honorably in the Marine Corps, and for almost 3 decades, I've dedicated my life to serving you. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth. I met my incredible wife on a blind date at Camp Lejeune. She also served in the Marines. My son, an Air Force veteran, and my daughter are on our team. I'm sharing this because Trajan Wealth is more than just a business. It's our family's legacy based on trust and integrity. We're here to manage your money and fight for your dreams. Our fiduciary duty is to put your needs first, always. If you have an old 401k collecting dust, or if your current advisor isn't meeting your needs, let's talk. At Trajan Wealth, we're ready to take on your retirement challenges one at a time. Honor the sacrifices of those who served by taking action for your future. Call us today. 678-888-3300. That's 678-888-3300.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Do you know the secret to losing fat permanently? Hi, I'm Dr. Taylor from Be the Younger You Atlanta, and I know the secret. Our anti-aging program makes it easy to lose weight, regain your health, and for many of our patients, reduce or even come off their medications, all without drugs, surgery, prepackaged meals, or injections. No counting points or calories. And you feel great while losing it, because if you're doing it the right way, you should feel great.
Hey, it's Shelly Winter. The Be the Younger You ATL.com weight loss program is the best ever because it really works. You lose the weight and the weight stays off, just like it has done for me. Stick to the program and you will look and feel much, much better. Go to BeTheYoungerYouATL.com right now or call 770-415-3000.
Call us now to schedule your free consultation and take advantage of our 20% off fall special. Call 770-415-3000 or go to BeTheYoungerYouATL.com. That's BeTheYoungerYouATL.com.
This past year has been incredibly tough for me. It's Belinda Skelton, and at the end of last year, my dad passed away. And now my brother and I are responsible for my mom's care and needs. Balancing my role as wife, mom, and daughter has been overwhelming. My mom needs round-the-clock care, and I felt this guilt, like I had to do everything myself. Luckily, my brother and I were referred to Four Seasons Home Care. They've become our lifeline, ensuring mom is happy and well cared for right at home, where she wants to be. Four Seasons Home Care is a local family-run business, not a franchise or a national corporation, so trust me, they care. They helped us find compassionate caregivers, allowing me to focus on being her daughter. If you have aging parents, please don't wait. Reach out to Four Seasons Home Care and start the conversation. It's a free call, and it can change everything. Google Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta. That's Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta.
Have you outgrown the space at your business or home? Shipping Containers for You has your perfect solution. Affordable 40-foot and 20-foot containers that can be delivered to you within days. Go to shippingcontainersforyou.com. That's shippingcontainersforyou.com.
10:19 on the Mark Arum Show. Seeing some delays on Georgia 400 into Sandy Springs. What's causing the backups, Alex Williams?
It is crews setting up construction in the left lane. 400 southbound at Abernathy exit 5. Right now, they're holding 2 left lanes to protect those construction crews as they set up the barrels in that far left lane, so delays there. And we had earlier trouble to cab. It cleared a stall that was in the right lane of the 285 northbound outer loop ramp to I-85 north there in Spaghetti Junction. Traffic brought to you by Train Heating and Cooling Systems. Train Heating and Cooling Systems are engineered to keep up with you. They run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I will not let you down. America's future will be bigger, better, bolder, richer, safer, and stronger than it has ever been before.
President-elect Trump in his victory speech this morning at 2:30 a.m. If you were sleeping like I was and you missed it, I'm going to replay a bulk of it coming up at 11:35 because I know a lot of folks want to hear the unedited speech. I've been playing clips throughout the show, but 11:35, we're going to let you hear it in its entirety. Eric Erickson joining us in just a couple of minutes. Going to ask him his biggest takeaway and what was most shocking to him with the presidential election race yesterday and the numbers that came out. I want to talk about former President Trump. And I say this with no hyperbole. There has never been and there will never be a politician like him on the face of the earth. Not just in United States politics, in world politics. The dude is supernatural. He's a political unicorn. And I say, and it's not so much what he has accomplished or didn't accomplish or what he might accomplish in the future. It's just he literally walks on water politically. There is a list of 50 things, at least 50 things, that he has done, he has said, or he has maneuvered that would have killed individually any other political career for any other politician. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't impact him. There are going to be books written about this. Like, why? And they call him, they used to call Gambino the Teflon Don, and then, Teflon Don. He truly, nothing sticks to this guy. It's a superpower. He's going to be in the new X-Men. Nothing sticks to him. I could see him licensing his likeness for that.
Maybe more The Boys.
The Boys, something. The Avenger. It's a superpower. That's the only way I can describe it. I'm not going to go through the list of things that he has been accused of, convicted of. Nothing. It doesn't matter to this guy. Let's just take the Stormy Daniels story. I'm not going to say anything, no judgment, nothing. Just not even the courts, not even the conviction, just the fact that there was a relationship there. Any other politician in the world, and it came out, I was like, oh, he had an affair while married with an adult film star. That would have killed any other politician's career. Just that one thing. Not even a ding, a dent, anything on Trump. It's insane. He is supernatural. He's a superhero. He is a political unicorn. There will never be anything like him ever again. And while the Democrats are going to have to blow the whole operation up and try to regroup and see what the hell's going on for them in the future, the Republican Party needs, because he's done after the second term. I think he might not even want to do the full term, but that's for a discussion for another story. You can't recreate it. Don Jr. doesn't have the same superpowers that Trump does. J.D. Vance, with all his all he brings to the table, he's not a supernatural being like Trump. So the Republicans, the power brokers in the Republican Party and the Trump campaign and the Trump orbit, bask in the victory for sure. Enjoy what you're going to try to accomplish over the next 4 years. But be ready, because once the superhero is gone, it's gone. You don't have another superhero in the waiting. Maybe Barron, an origin story. Like, he passed on the superhero traits.
You don't really hear much from him. Like, you see him, but he's never really come out and said that much.
Yeah, and I don't blame him. He's a freshman in college. Let him do what he's, beer, keg stands. I don't know if he's like 6'10". I don't think he could do a keg stand. Like a funnel, that's more of his. Anyway, it's absolutely remarkable. And yesterday's election results underscored it. Any other politician would have been knocked out for the count. Done. For any of the 50 things that have come Trump's way. And he just brushes his shoulder off. Like, literally like Superman, like a Man of Steel. Like, go ahead and try to shoot me. I'm not going down. And there's no kryptonite. There is no Trump kryptonite. Pretty remarkable. That's all I have to say about that. I do want to update. There was one, this is from GB News. Is that Great Britain News, Deborah?
Yeah.
All right, so this is Nigel Farage commenting on President Trump's political comeback. More international reaction.
Oh, delighted. Absolutely delighted. This is what I thought it would happen, but it's happened on a really big scale. The swings towards Trump are truly remarkable, so I'm thrilled by that. On a human level, for him, this is the most incredible political comeback we've seen in modern times. I mean, no one since Churchill has gone from the top to the bottom and come back again in quite this way. That's remarkable. And just the number of Americans just saying, hey, you know what, we've had enough of the direction our government's going in. We want somebody who gives strong leadership. No, it's a truly, whether you like him or not, he is a remarkable human being. It's a great achievement, and I'm very proud to call him a friend of mine.
But it wasn't predicted, Nigel. You look back to just yesterday, and no one was saying this was going to happen. Why has it happened? Why did it happen?
Well, actually, Eamon, to be fair, on GB News at 7 o'clock live last night, I said loudly and clearly, Trump will win. So there were one or two of us who did see, where it was going to go. I just think that the silent majority in America, and by the way, we have the same silent majority in our country, they've just had enough of big governments who tax too much, who make people's lives difficult, who overregulate them, who pursue policies on energy, for example, that put people's bills up. All of those things are there. But the crucial one, to add to that, is the border. Over 10 million illegal immigrants have come into the United States of America since Joe Biden was president. And people are seeing in their cities increases in crime, gang crime in particular, huge problems. And what they want is somebody to provide a solution.
International reaction, that's Nigel Farage, the leader of the Reform Party in the United Kingdom. Even Churchill didn't have a comeback like Trump did last night, early this morning. News, weather, and traffic straight ahead. When we come back, our post-election coverage continues. Eric Erickson's going to join us live with the latest. Stay with us. It's the Mark Arum Show on 95.5 WSB.
A window is a window is a window. It's glass and you look through it, right? Yeah, not really. Dave Baker here from my window experts at Nelson Exteriors. Windows are actually one of the hardest projects to shop for because they come in so many variations. That's why I recommend Nelson Exteriors. They give you window options to fit your budget, your needs, and your home, all backed by their worry-free lifetime labor warranty. Pick the company that's more picky than you. Google Nelson Exteriors.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell.
And I'm Monica Pearson. Dale and I have worked together for years, first at WSB, and today helping you find Georgia's best companies and sharing why they're the best.
Monica, one of the first companies I researched and recommended is AMCO Transmissions and Total Car Care. For more than a dozen years, they've consistently met my 7-point standard and honored my Make It Right guarantee. And I know you believe in AMCO just as much as I do.
Dale, over the years, we've both reported about people getting taken advantage of. So I'm keenly aware what it takes to deliver not just great performance, but great customer service. People who follow my advice literally stop me on the street and thank me for referring them to AMCO.
We all need mechanics we can trust for correct diagnosis, efficient repair, and fair price. Not just for transmission repair, but engines, brakes, check engine lights, and so much more. Call the locally owned AMCO near you.
And I know their nationwide warranty protects you everywhere.
That's AA
MCO.
Retirement doesn't have to be complicated. Are you sick of all the fancy charts and investment mumbo-jumbo thrown at you to justify the Wall Street fees you're being charged? It's not the size of your nest egg that matters, but rather the income it can produce. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons, best-selling author and star in a brand new Hollywood documentary called The Retirement Deception. In this film, we traveled over 20,000 miles interviewing real Americans who have retired successfully with a great lifestyle and peace of mind. They share their stories on how they get more retirement income with the same dollar saved, and the money is never at risk if the market crashes. That's right. If the market market crashes 30%, you lose nothing. Even the super wealthy are shifting money into this new strategy because it increases their retirement income or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you are over 50 and want a bigger, better, stress-free retirement, call to talk to a specialist and get a free copy of this brand new movie, The Retirement Deception. 888-471-3896. This is a $30 value, but when you call today, you get it completely free. So don't delay. Call 888-471-3896. Again, that's 888-471-3896.
Don't get trapped for another year with overpriced health insurance. Eric Erickson for Hip Nation. Many small business owners are now evaluating their health insurance plan renewals. Visit hipnation.com to learn about the amazing savings and great health care you can provide for your employees. Go to hipnation.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather, traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 10:30. I'm Sabrina Cupid. Former President Donald Trump is the first person in over 100 years to win the White House after losing it. At his victory speech, he told his supporters he'd deliver a prosperous America.
This is a magnificent victory for the American people that will allow us to make America great again.
And Jill Schlesinger reports this morning stocks are surging following the news.
Stocks jumped at the opening bell as investors bet that a second Trump presidency will usher in an extension of the tax cuts that went into effect in the beginning of 2018, as well as a light regulatory touch.
All right, so let's take a look at the markets. The Dow currently up 1,374 points at 43,596. So the Dow's up more than 3%. NASDAQ's up almost 2.5%. And the S&P is up more than 2% here at 10:30. Georgia voters give unanimous approval to the constitutional amendments and referendums on this year's ballot.
Amendment 1 received 63% of the vote in Georgia, which means the local homestead tax has been approved, allowing homeowners to have a limit on property tax increases. Also, Referendum A passed with 64% of the vote. That means businesses will get an exemption for personal property tax.
And I raised that exemption from $7,500 to $20,000.
That's the author of the measure, Georgia State Representative Mike Chokas. Daphne Young, 95.5 WSB.
And Amendment 2 also passed. It creates a state tax court. And the new setup of that new tax court will start on New Year's Day. Your weather for this afternoon, cloudy with hit or miss rain showers throughout the day with a high around 72, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just a couple of minutes. Happening right now, there is a gas leak near the state capitol. Atlanta Fire and crews from Atlanta Gas are on the scene right now. This is at the intersection of Piedmont Avenue near MLK Jr. Drive.
Atlanta Gas is currently on scene working to repair the leak.
Henri Holmes, Public Information Officer for Atlanta Fire and Rescue, says that they are also conducting air quality tests in that area. Cobb County Police are investigating a crash that left a pedestrian with serious injuries. Officers say the unidentified woman was walking outside of a crosswalk when she was hit last night on Barrett Parkway near Stillsboro Road. The driver of that SUV that hit her remained on the scene. Police are asking anybody with information about that accident to give them a call. This is new this morning. A doctor at a VA medical center here in Metro Atlanta has been convicted of sexually assaulting a patient.
A jury finds Dr. Rajesh Patel guilty of engaging in unwanted sexual contact with a female veteran under his care. The 69-year-old Patel was originally charged with sexually assaulting 4 patients at the Veterans Affairs Medical Center in Decatur. And prosecutors say he groped and improperly touched them during routine exams between 2019 and 2020. The jury acquitted him of charges related to 3 of the victims. Dr. Patel is set to be sentenced in February. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
Mazda's recalling over 150,000 new and recent vehicles over several issues. The Japanese automaker saying that it's recalling about 80,000 of its CX-70 and 90 models over an issue with an electrical supply unit. And they're also recalling about 38,000 of the CX-90 vehicles over a software issue that may cause the engine to stop after idling. It's 10:33, time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center with a look at the roads.
Seeing a few brake lights out of Sandy Springs, 400 southbound, leaving Northridge, exit 6. It's all due to that construction that's been set up in the left lane, passing Abernathy, exit number 5. Looks like the earlier crash before that in Alpharetta, 400 southbound at Mansell Road, exit 8. That has cleared. And you also do have that gas main break, Sabrina, you just mentioned, shutting down Piedmont Avenue, Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, just west of the downtown connector, right near the state, or really right in front of the state capitol. So just be mindful of that. Police on scene directing that traffic. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy with hit or miss rain showers today, high 72, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with an isolated rain shower possible, high 75. And on Friday, partly cloudy, high 77.
70 degrees in Johns Creek, at 69 in Jefferson, 71 in Covington. We'll have more news at 11 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
The most consequential election of our time is over.
This is a magnificent victory for the American people.
Donald Trump will return to the White House as the next president of the United States.
Make America great.
Stay with WSB for all the information you need from now through Inauguration
We're going to
Day.
make you very happy. We're going to make you very proud of your vote.
95.5 WSB.
Your 2024 election station.
We're going to help our country heal. We're going to help our
President
country
Trump
heal.
this morning at 2:30 declaring victory. He will be the 47th president. Our post-election coverage continues. Eric Erickson joins us live in studio 2 minutes away on the Mark Arum Show.
You still want a new deck on your house, but you think you may have missed a deck building window? Well, you're wrong. Dave Baker here for Ben Hill Renovations, my deck experts. What makes them my experts? Well, for starters, when you have Ben Hill Renovations upgrading your outdoor living space, you're dealing with professionals. You have a company building to code, current and future. You have a company pulling permits when needed, with a dedicated project manager for every job, superior craftsmanship from over 60-plus years of experience, and all backed by their workmanship warranty. Whether you want a screened-in porch, an outdoor living area, a multi-story wraparound deck, or just a simple deck with a set of stairs, Ben Hill Renovations has you covered. Plus, they offer multiple financing options, up to 18 months, no interest with affordable monthly payments. Check out their new website at bhrenovations.com and set up an appointment, or visit their showroom and speak with a designer. You won't be disappointed. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
At Humana, our Medicare Advantage plans give you coverage and care you can count on, along with guided support to help you feel your best. Our licensed sales agents are ready to help you understand your options and choose a Medicare Advantage plan. You'll feel confident because you have plan options that fit your needs. You could have a plan with a $0 premium and even personalized care from a wide network of doctors, or all-in-one plans that may include medical and prescription coverage, as well as routine dental, vision, and hearing. When it comes to the benefits and support you need, Humana has Medicare Advantage plans made for your well-being and your wallet. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Protect your turf from termites. Call Breda Pest Management. They handle bugs and critters. And Breda's proud to sponsor Scott Slade, Georgia, every Thursday on Atlanta's Morning News.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
I am 100% Trump supporter. We are here because of Trump.
That's Gisela Urena, Trump supporter in Miami, Florida, celebrating President-elect Trump's victory. So he was president, former president, now president-elect, will be president again. Joining us live in studio to recap the craziness that was the election last night, our good buddy Eric Erickson. First off, Eric, so much fun on that roundtable last night.
That was a lot of fun. I note to management, all of our listeners said 1 more hour, please.
Okay, really?
Yes. Oh my God, my phone was lit up all night. Why aren't you still doing the roundtable?
Speaking of lighting up, so I don't want to put words in your mouth, but Eric and I were sitting next to each other in the roundtable last night on WSB Radio, and when you saw the numbers coming in Duval County, Florida, you knew it was over at that point, right? Why was that the canary in the coal mine for you?
So Duval County, Florida, that's Jacksonville. Jacksonville is the largest county in the state of Florida, a huge population down there, and it tends to vote to the left of Georgia. In fact, in every election since 2004, it's voted to the left of where Georgia was. It has not voted for a Republican since 2004. It flipped to Donald Trump with black men voting for Donald Trump. That was the immediate sign that up the eastern seaboard, black men were voting for Donald Trump. If it happened in Duval County, and then it happened in Baldwin County, Georgia as well, when those two were there, it's like, something is happening here that the Harris campaign can't withstand.
Yeah, I had a front row seat to you pulling up those Duval numbers, and you were like, oh, I saw it. Like, you knew that was the telltale sign. Now that we've seen all the data come in from all 50 states, the most surprising number or numbers for you post-election?
Honestly, the Donald Trump going to the White House with the most multiracial coalition of people ever for a Republican. It is insane, the number of black men, Hispanic men, black women, Hispanic women, and married white women. That was his coalition. Forget white men. They played their role, but everyone's focused on the women's vote going for Kamala Harris. Married women, black and white, headed to Donald Trump.
I was not surprised by what happened here in Georgia. I thought that was going to happen. I wasn't surprised by any of the Sun Belt states. To my gambling friend who I said, bet it all on Trump in Nevada, you're welcome. Cut me off 10% of your proceeds there. But I really thought that Kamala Harris had a good chance to win Pennsylvania. But looking at the Hispanic numbers there, what a difference 4 years makes.
Yes. Listen, Hispanic voters in the United States, the longer they stay here, are less likely to identify as Hispanic and more likely to identify as Republican. Beyond that, they're more likely to identify as white working class. You remember, it was the Trayvon Martin situation in Florida with George Zimmerman, where the media started using the term black Hispanic or black Latino versus white Latino. His Latino community in America, by and large, as a polling demographic, identifies more as white than black, with some exceptions. And for the Democrats to treat them as an identity politics group blew up in their face. We'll tell you the one thing that surprised me in Georgia, it was the Hispanic vote that pushed Donald Trump across the finish line.
What were the numbers in Georgia? I haven't seen those numbers.
I can't remember offhand. I've got so many numbers.
He
swirling in my head,
overperformed, obviously.
But he overperformed with Hispanic voters and underperformed with suburban white voters.
Interesting. Eric Erickson joining us live here in the Mark Arum Show. What shocked me was the Latino voters. That was number one. Like, wow. We're talking 40-point swing in some districts.
So Donald Trump is the first Republican since 1896 to win Starr County, Texas. That is the most Hispanic community in America. 97% Hispanic. And in that community, they identify as Hispanic. They don't like the phrase Latino. And he won it by 16 points. He lost it by 16 points in 2020.
The popular vote also kind of shocked me. I mean,
takes away the last Democratic talking point about winning elections.
That was because, listen, the map was laid out. Again, I thought the Sun Belt was safe. I actually thought Wisconsin was going to be the key. I thought that would have been, it turned out to be the state that gave him 270, but I thought that was going to be the one state. I thought it was going to be closer than this, but I did not see this popular vote number coming out.
Yeah, in the last couple of weeks, I knew members of the media were starting to see stuff in their internal polling because they started talking about the popular vote. I didn't think it was going to be as big as it was. I thought it would be very close. But that one that's surprising all the Democrats today. They really had it in their head. There's no way in this country a Republican can ever again win the popular vote. You can't attack the Electoral College when he wins the popular vote. And by the way, there are a number of Democratic states that pass laws saying our state will bind its electors to the national popular vote. I suspect we're not going to see them go through with that now.
That being said, the future of the Democratic Party, I likened this to what the New Orleans Saints are doing right now. They're just blowing it up and doing a full rebuild. Is that what the Democrats have to do now?
I think so. Listen, Kamala Harris chose Tim Walz because she didn't want to alienate the anti-Semites in the Democratic Party, so she skipped Josh Shapiro. Had she picked him, she would be president of the United States right now. She chose not to.
You think so?
I think so.
Really?
She chose Tim Walz to avoid alienating the Arab Americans in Michigan. She wound up losing those Arab Americans, and she lost Pennsylvania.
Interesting. I don't know, just by the sheer numbers.
Put it to you this way: from the exit polling, Jewish Americans made up a significant minority of the vote for Donald Trump. They voted for Donald Trump at a higher rate than Jews in America have ever voted for a Republican president, including Ronald Reagan.
Well, we're small.
That's true. But when you actually look at the voting numbers and you combine them with the Arab American numbers that she didn't pick up in Michigan, she lost Michigan, she lost Pennsylvania, she lost sections of Florida that she shouldn't have lost. Miami-Dade County should have gone for her between the Latino vote and the Jewish vote down there, and it didn't.
The margin of victory in Florida was jaw-dropping.
It was.
How is that ever a swing state?
Also, by the way, because of the anti-Semitism in the Democratic Party, they lost congressional seats in Staten Island and Long Island they should have won.
Oh, Staten Island and Long Island are red. They're going to be red forever now.
Yeah, Donald Trump did better in the Bronx than any Republican since Ronald Reagan.
Remarkable. I said earlier in the show, and you might disagree, but looking at these numbers, it didn't matter who the Democrats had at the top of the ticket. It didn't matter who the vice presidential nominee. there was no one that was going to beat Trump with these numbers.
Yeah, you know, I've said for a year it's the economy, stupid.
Yeah.
And it was.
All right, that being said, Trump 2.0, what can we expect from the second Trump administration?
You know, the concern that even some Republicans have is that he's not going to be willing to bring in a lot of the people he brought in the last time that gave him the good policy results that everybody likes. I think he will. I think he will start reaching out to people like a Rick Perry in Texas, who was his energy secretary. Not saying he's going to come back, but who do you like? Or Sonny Perdue, not saying he's going to come back, but finding people like those into the White House. My friend Russ Vought will probably be the chairman of the budget office in the White House.
Okay.
He would be brilliant. My friend Victoria Coates, who was on my show the other day, probably in line for a national security appointment. These are competent people I've known for a decade, and people like that in the White House are going to deliver good results.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio?
You know, Marco Rubio's been floated for that, and Tom Cotton as Secretary of Defense. Those would be intriguing, good picks.
Serious people in serious positions.
People in good positions that he has a good relationship with.
Forgive me because I forgot their names, but there's been a lot of hat tipping today to the two main Trump campaign architects, a man and woman. I forget their names.
Yeah, Susie Wiles and Chris Laceveda.
Susie Wiles might be chief of staff.
Yes.
Aceveda. Whatever happens, whether they get a position in the Trump White House or not, like they're going to be etched in bronze as running like such a remarkable campaign, right?
Particularly with such an undisciplined candidate. Susie Wiles did a brilliant job. Chris Laceveda, I know we were texting last night. He's a great guy. He's a mercenary on the GOP side, so to speak. He doesn't want to be in the White House. I think Wiles, if she wants to be chief of staff, should get it.
Well, he can write his ticket and head any campaign,
right?
Foreign or domestic.
Yes.
I mean, what was accomplished yesterday was, obviously heartbreaking to Democrats, but shocking the numbers nationwide that they pulled off yesterday.
It very much was historic. I mean, not since Grover Cleveland has a president lost and then won again.
Kamala Harris, we're going to hear from her today?
We will hear from Kamala Harris today. Yeah. We'll probably hear from Joe Biden as well.
All right, we'll see. Eric Erickson's went to bed at 5 a.m. So I got 6 more hours of sleep than Eric, but you're still going to do your show today?
Still going to do my show.
What do we
I'll
have
sleep
on
on the
tap?
plane to Tulsa. You know, I'm going to review this and highlight the problems for Republicans ahead is you got to remember there's no such thing as a permanent political majority. You actually got to govern now.
I think the biggest problem is Donald Trump is a political unicorn. He's supernatural. The Republican Party has to get ready for after what happens after 4 years because there's no one like Trump. You can't replace Trump with anybody that's like him. So I would start laying the groundwork. Like what happens post-Trump presidency?
Yeah, I think you got to think about that. But the midterms are coming up first.
There you go, brother. So much fun having you yesterday at the round table again live in studio. I'll be listening on my way home. Eric Erickson, noon to 3, right here on 95.5 WSB.
The most consequential election of our time is over.
Donald Trump will return to the White House as the next president of the United States.
Well, I want to thank you all very much.
Stay with WSB for all the information you need from now through Inauguration Day.
This is a movement like nobody's ever seen before.
95.5 WSB.
Your 2024 election station.
If you're losing your hair or maybe just starting to notice that you're losing it, you're looking for a solution, I got you because I know the team at Advanced Hair. It's Mark Aaron back with you. You know, they're the real solution. They come with a guarantee, and I can see what they can do, and you can too, just like these guys have.
Everything has been fantastic. Person that I came in and talked to initially about it was very helpful. When I came for the procedure, everybody walked me through everything step by step. It was very well explained and very easy. If you're sitting on the fence, just do it. You'll be really, really happy. I wish I would have done this 5 or 10 years earlier.
One of the things I like about them, not some factory in a big medical building. These guys are like a dream team that came together and said, let's do this right. So good, they guarantee the growth, and you get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts when you use my name, Mark, at advancedhair.com. That's the promo code MARK at advancedhair.com. One-day treatment, life-changing results, guaranteed to grow. My name, Mark. Use it at advancedhair.com.
So how do we create value? This is Greg Trzynski from the Original Mattress Factory. Value comes from having complete control over our product quality. From design to manufacturing to delivery, everything is handled in-house by our trained professionals. This approach allows us to maintain strict quality standards and respond quickly to customer needs. We believe true value is created when a company takes full responsibility for its products. When you choose OMF, you're getting a mattress built with care and attention at every step. OriginalMattress.com.
Every single month that you wait to call MyLend is just another month where you've likely paid more than you should have on your mortgage. This is Scott Slade. The time to act is now. Everything is moving in the right direction for you to start saving on your mortgage. No matter your scenario, MyLend has seen it. Reverse mortgages for you or your parents, specialty purchase programs, cash out refinances, second mortgages, rental properties, VA and FHA. Mortgages are MyLend's specialty. And when you've been doing it as long as they have, you've seen it all. I've been saying it for years, and it's still true today. MyLend is constantly closing loans other lenders just can't close. The Fed is starting to lower rates, so your time to act is now. Take a few minutes out of your day and call my friends at MyLend. 770-817-2000. That's 770-817-2000. Online, it's mylend.com. Spelled it MILEND. NMLS and Georgia Mortgage License C148769. MyLend's located at 8995 Westside Parkway, Alpharetta, Georgia 30009. MyLend is an equal housing lender.
You're ready for a new deck, but don't know where to start. You can DIY, use an unlicensed chuck in a truck, an overpriced luxury designer, or you can choose us. Hi, I'm Scott Nelson, owner of Nelson Exteriors, and we do decks differently. We build beautiful, high-end decks at a reasonable price with lots of options. We're licensed and insured. We'll work with the materials you choose and stay within your budget. Call Nelson Exteriors for an extraordinary deck renovation. Google Nelson Exteriors.
The rental rush is here. Hey, it's Mark Aaron from my good friends at Renters Warehouse. With all the talk about commissions in the news lately, doesn't selling your house feel more volatile and uncertain than ever? Well, it does to me. It's one more reason why renting your home is so much smarter, especially when you hire my pals at Renters Warehouse to manage your property for you. Renting cuts through the confusion so you can be confident in your ability to earn monthly cash flow, appreciation, and tax benefits for the long term. And with Renters Warehouse managing your property, you can sit back and collect the money. Tenants, they find the best. Rent, they collect for you. Maintenance request, they handle them 24/7, all for one low monthly flat fee, and they'll even warranty your tenants for free. Remember, selling is uncertain, but renting is reliable, especially with the experienced Renters Warehouse team on your side. Find out how much rent your home can get by visiting rwatlanta.com today. That's rwatlanta.com, or call 404-662-2322.
Sherry, what have you done to your hair? What do you mean? Does it not look good? It doesn't look good. It looks freaking amazing. I can't believe how thick and healthy it looks. Oh, I must know your secret. No secret. It's Hair Volume from New Nordic. Hair Volume, huh? Well, it certainly lives up to its name. Your hair has never looked so thick. It is gorgeous. I was so tired of having thin and brittle hair. Ugh, and the shedding. So I figured I'd give Hair Volume a try. Needless to say, I'm thrilled with the results. Hey, where are you going? I'm going to pick up some Hair Volume right now. My reunion's next month and I want my hair to look as good as yours.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural health products from New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Scandinavia. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or your local Walgreens, Rite Aid, or CVS. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Help your hair look full, voluminous, and beautiful again at newnordicusa.com, Walgreens, Rite Aid, or CVS.
10:52 on the Mark Arum Show. Checking delays downtown. Live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center. Here's Alex Williams.
It's that merging madness, 75-85 northbound on those ramps from I-20, trying to get up past Freedom Parkway. Don't forget, we got that gas leak in downtown, shutting down Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, Piedmont Avenue, right where they intersect. Also evacuating the Capitol, and construction left lane, Sandy Springs, 400 southbound at Abernathy Road. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Speaking of the Capitol, we had a handful of bomb threats that the Secretary of State attributed to Russia, but everything went smoothly here in Georgia, outside of the bomb threats, which is it was weird to say, but no counting issues. Secretary of State said we're going to get most of the stuff by 8. We got most of the stuff by 8, and really good job by everyone. Thanks to all the poll workers out there that did the yeoman's work. Everything went very smoothly. That's fantastic to me. There were a couple of minor issues, but everyone got to vote, and we did it. We did it here in Georgia, so that's some good news. Thanks to Eric. Dude stayed up till 5 a.m. He and Chris Chandler. Chris Chandler anchored the roundtable yesterday, 6 to 8, and then he just basically did coverage, and then came back and did the morning news. God bless him. Younger man. I couldn't have done that. I was done at 11 p.m. yesterday. All right, the markets, Dow's up 3% right now. Let me see what crypto's doing. Because the crypto, oh boy, Bitcoin's up 7%. Ethereum's up 9%. I don't know anything about the other ones that are listed there. We're going to have an expert on from Bloomberg News next hour, explaining why the markets are reacting so positively for the reelection of former President Trump. I want to check in with some exit data numbers yesterday. Again, really just fascinating numbers, like numbers that I didn't expect to see. The popular vote is something I didn't expect to see. Thought Trump would win. I didn't think he'd win the popular vote. My favorite crazy data reporter is Harry Enton from CNN, examining the exit poll numbers from yesterday.
I want to drill down into Wisconsin because it was the state that put Donald Trump over the top in the Electoral College. I want to look at black voters first of all. Look at this. Donald Trump getting north of 20% of the vote with black voters in the Badger State. 4 years ago, he was south of 10%, so he's doing more than twice better than he did 4 years ago. But it's not just among black voters. How about voters under the age of 30? Traditionally, a Democratic bastion of votes, especially with the University of Wisconsin education system. Look here, it's a tie. It's a tie among voters under the age of 30 in Wisconsin. I never thought I'd see the day. Closely related, how about first-time voters in the Badger State? What are we seeing there? Look at this. Donald Trump leading among first-time voters, leading by 17 points going away. Joe Biden won this group rather easily back in 2020. The bottom line is this. Wisconsin is something that we've seen throughout the entire nation. It's representative of the nation as a whole. If 2016 was the story of Donald Trump and white working-class voters, this 2024 is about going into Democratic strongholds and taking those votes away and putting up historic numbers among those groups.
Now, Eric, so crazy Harry Enton, love that guy, the data reporter. Eric kind of explained the turn on the Hispanic vote, which I think makes a lot of sense. The younger vote there, because, Madison, that's where the University of Wisconsin is, right?
Yes, yep.
The young vote going to Trump. And I forgot who, one of the pundits I was listening to on my way in this morning, tried to explain why, because that's got to be earth-shattering for Democrats, the fact that they're losing college-age voters, right? That's think back to when you were 20 years old, right? Everyone 20 years old is a Democrat. You're young, you're voting Democrat. Not yesterday, not last night. And I wish I could give credit to the person that put this theory out, or hypothesis, as Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson said. The 20-year-olds right now, the college kids, they haven't experienced what we did through the Cold War and the impact that the United States has had as the global leader, strength through power, et cetera, et cetera. They just know Iraq, Afghanistan, what's going on in the Middle East right now, that the young kids who have less life experience, weren't here during the Cold War, et cetera, that they are jumping on board that isolationist policy. That why are we dealing with Russia and Ukraine? What do we care about them? Like, let's leave the rest of the world alone. They're not used to the United States always being the leader of the free world. And I thought that was an interesting take on that, and why the young voters fled the Democratic Party and rushed to Trump's lap last night, especially in Madison, Wisconsin. News, weather, and traffic straight ahead. We'll be right back. Our post-election coverage continues next on The Mark Arum Show.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey, it's Scott Slade from iRoofer, FGA Roofing. If your home's exterior could use an updated look, or maybe one of your neighbor's designer roofs has caught your eye, visit firstgaroof.com for the latest in designer architectural shingles. Firstgaroof.com.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz, and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no, and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now. 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, could be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Go to carsforkids.org today.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by the Next Generation Xfinity 10G network. Donald Trump headed back to the White House.
Thank you very much. Wow.
The now president-elect Donald Trump told his supporters, just as he did in his first term,
I will govern by a simple motto: promises made, promises kept. We're going to keep our promises.
He said he'll make America safe, strong, prosperous, powerful, and free again, and
we're going to help our country heal. We have a country that needs help, and it needs help very badly.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News, the White House.
And we've gotten word that President Biden is planning on calling Mr. Trump, and he also plans to address the nation later on. We have not gotten word on what time Biden plans to speak. We, of course, will be covering that. Following Trump's big win last night, the stock market soaring this morning. Jill Schlesinger reports that people should not plan, though, any big changes in their financial planning right now.
Of course, this is just one day, and in the days and weeks and months ahead, we'll have much more clarity about the Trump administration's policies. For individual investors, stick to your game plan. Don't try to guess tops and bottoms, and be clear that this month, this year, next year, even 4 years, it is not the only part of your story. Your story is all about your long-term game plan, and that usually encompasses decades in the future.
Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is up 1,282 at 43,503. So the Dow's up more than 3%. NASDAQ's up almost 2%, and the S&P's not far behind. You can see the breakdown of how states voted and what happened here in Georgia at WSBradio.com or on the WSB Radio app. We'll have Georgia results and national results there. Cloudy today, hit or miss rain showers throughout the day with a high of 72. We'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just over 2 minutes. Emergency crews have evacuated the state capitol now after a large gas leak in that area. Atlanta Fire spokesperson Andre Holmes telling WSB a construction crew hit a gas line just after 9 this morning.
We immediately arrived on scene to begin taking readings of the area. There was nothing concerning, but when we went further down, kind of at the intersection of Cortland and Piedmont, there was a higher level than what we like.
And crews from Atlanta Gaslight are working now to repair that leak at the intersection of Piedmont Avenue near MLK Jr. Drive. Holmes says avoid that area and stay inside if you live or work nearby. Cobb County Police investigating a crash that left a pedestrian with serious injuries. They say that an unidentified woman was walking outside of a crosswalk when she was hit by a car last night on Barrett Parkway near Stillsboro Road. The driver of the SUV that hit her stayed on the scene. Police are asking anybody with information about that accident to give them a call. A doctor at the Veterans Affairs Medical Center in Decatur found guilty of sexually assaulting a patient.
Dr. Rajesh Patel was charged with groping and improperly touching 4 female veterans during routine exams between 2019 and 2020. Jurors acquitted Patel of charges related to 3 of the victims, but convicted him of sexual assault against 1 of the women. U.S. Attorney Ryan Buchanan says acts of violence against veterans in VA facilities are reprehensible and shatter trust. Sentencing for the 69-year-old Patel is set for February of next year. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
WSB.
It's 11:03. That means we need to go to the WSB 24-hour traffic center and say good morning to Veronica Harrell.
And good morning to you, Sabrina. Right now, folks are running into some delay on 400 because of construction. Georgia 400 southbound right around Abernathy Road. It takes out a left lane. Also slowing still, Georgia 400 southbound, just volume trying to ramp on to I-85 to get to that downtown ride. Downtown ride overall not bad. 75, 85 north and southbound. And a gas main break has Piedmont Road shut down over at MLK Jr. Drive, so avoid that area. I'm Veronica Harrell, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy skies today with hit or miss rain showers, high 72, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Holding on to the cloud cover tomorrow with an isolated rain shower, high 75. A little bit more sunshine by Friday, high 77.
71 degrees in Duluth. Dunwoody has 72, and in Douglasville, it's 71 degrees right now. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
I want this town to be near you.
11:04 on this fast-moving, historic Wednesday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Airman crew with you till noon. Complete coverage of the election last night wasn't called till this morning at 5:30 a.m. when the Badger State put former President Trump, President-elect Trump, future President Trump over the 270 mark electorally. Obviously, we're going to have a complete reaction throughout the day here on WSB Radio. The victory speech that Trump gave was at 2:30 a.m. I was sawing logs. Deborah you didn't get up that early. Longoria, I know, was sleeping. And I know a lot of you missed it. So at 11:35, I'm going to play the Trump victory speech for those of you that weren't able to listen to it in its entirety. I've been playing cuts throughout the day here. Two updates on breaking news, Longoria, if you don't mind. First off,
Where is Hector?
just got via the Piccadilly text line. Eric Erickson was just live in studio. Now he's in the network studio. He confirms that the GOP will hold the House of Representatives. So starting in January, Republicans will have the Oval Office, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. All three branches will be under GOP control. That means Speaker Mike Johnson, still Speaker. I'm assuming, I should have asked Harris this earlier, that Mitch McConnell will then be Senate Majority Leader, unless there's a shift of power there. I don't think that there'll be a filibuster-proof majority in the Senate. I think the latest number had was 58 Republican senators that will be sat in the next Senate, which is just too shy of the 60. There was also, can we get Eric back in here? I forgot to ask about, there was an independent won a Senate seat yesterday. And he said he's caucusing with neither the Republicans or the Democrats. So good for him, exactly. So I don't know anyway. We'll have to pull Eric back in here. One more, a little bit of breaking news. And forgive me if Sabrina had this in the news at 11. I've been on the Piccadilly text line and I missed it. Kamala Harris will address the nation today at 6 p.m. 4 p.m. Eastern. Vice President Harris expected to deliver her concession speech around 4 p.m. Eastern this evening from Howard University. That, according to NBC News. She is also going to call President-elect Trump to concede. A White House official says President Biden is also planning to call Trump today and speak publicly about the results. That's the way it's supposed to go. That's it. Peaceful transfer. There you go. So, again, 4 p.m., Harris is expected to deliver her concession speech from Howard University. It was quite telling yesterday watching the coverage because, when the polls closed, we were off the air at 8. I got home about 8:30 and I was watching the coverage, and you would get these updates from they go live to Howard University. What's the Harris campaign saying? Oh, they're optimistic. They think they're going to do this, this, and this. And then they stop talking. They go to Howard University. What's the Harris campaign saying? And they're like, the poor reporter's like, they haven't said boo. They're not saying anything. And that was telling. And then they'd go to the Trump campaign down in Mar-a-Lago in West Palm Beach, and like, what's the Trump campaign saying? And they're like, oh, they're ecstatic. You could see it happening. That's why at 11 o'clock, I was like, all right, this puppy is over. One more update. We've been talking about international reaction. What about U.S.-Mexico relations? Mexico's leader said good relations with the U.S. will continue under Donald Trump, pointed to the high-level dialogue that helped reduce illegal immigration by 75% since last December. CBS's Adrienne Bard has more in Mexico City.
Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, a far-left politician, said Mexicans have no reason to worry about the victory of Donald Trump in U.S. elections. Mexico is the U.S. top trading partner, and in recent weeks, there have been concerns voiced about a plan by Trump to slap tariffs on Mexican products. Mexican media underscored the role of Latino voters. Surprised they voted for Donald Trump in key states. Adrienne Bard, CBS News, Mexico City.
What, you're worried about your avocados coming in?
Don't slap a tariff on my avocados. They're already expensive enough.
Are a majority of avocados imported from Mexico?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. The good ones are.
What's California doing? Shouldn't they be growing
They
some
have
stuff?
some too. They're just
All right.
not as delicious, right, Andrew?
Yeah,
they taste
they're not
different.
the same.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
quite different.
All right,
and
so,
tequila.
President-elect Trump, if you're listening, tariff-free avocados. Maybe put that on my next. By the way, my political platform, if you haven't seen it, Deborah's been crafting my future political platform. Posted on social media is @MarkAaron. People loved it. We do have to add the no more political text, though.
I added it after you told me that,
good.
so it's in the next
whatever
one. Thing we're voting for. I have it ready to
and
go.
And tariff-free avocados from
I'll
Mexico.
add that one.
Yeah, I want the Latina vote. So I'm going to throw that on there. Maya, by the way, she might spend more on avocados than you do. Every meal has got avocado on it. Every meal.
Does she just eat the avocado?
She slices it and puts it on stuff.
Does she just eat it though?
Yeah.
Just like a plain like an apple?
Maybe when I'm not home.
Is that how you eat it too?
Well, I mean, I cut it out or make guacamole out of it. But yeah,
no, she doesn't eat it like. But she puts that ish on everything. She's so into the avocados. This is so there are no big surprises here in Georgia. Down ballot, but I do want to update this. I can't believe I waited this long to talk about this. Transit expansion fails in Cobb and Gwinnett counties. They were on the ballot yesterday. Apparently, they didn't get a majority of the voters in Cobb and Gwinnett. Again, both of these failed. Both proposals attracted national attention for their scope and ambition in the face of decades of opposition to mass transit in Atlanta suburbs. Supporters had hoped the changing makeup of the two suburban counties, which have recently leaned Democratic, would bode well for the proposed 1% sales tax that would fund 30 years worth of projects. So again, the proposal was 1% sales tax in Cobb and Gwinnett counties to fund a really big transit operation. I've been covering transit in Georgia for 3 decades. If it didn't happen now, it's not going to happen. In Gwinnett, the proposal there appeared to fail by just 29,000 votes. Cobb's proposal was on track to fare even worse by just under 100,000 votes. That's the latest from the AJC. Neither plan included rail or expanded MARTA, which has been the subject of criticism in past efforts. Instead, the plans focused on improving local bus service and adding rapid bus routes. People are... I don't want to be judgmental, but people just don't like buses.
I don't love the bus.
Yeah.
You know, if there's a MARTA train, I'm taking the MARTA train.
I would 100% take a train over a bus.
You lived in New York, right?
Yeah.
How easy was it to get around on the train?
I never once took a bus in New York.
Yeah, anytime we're in Europe, like specifically London, we go there a lot because of my husband's family.
Rail's the king.
Everywhere, yeah.
Yeah. So those died. That's a pretty big local story. The 1% sales tax to fund the. I think it's the buses. I think people they're snobbish about buses. The only MARTA bus I've taken in Atlanta, they used to have a MARTA bus bridge to Turner Field.
I was going to say to the Braves game,
yeah,
right?
That was the only time I've taken MARTA trains 100 times, but the only time I've been on a MARTA bus was from like the Orange parking lot to Turner Field. So the referendums failed there. All right, never mind Dow futures. The markets are open. Let's see what's going on. In the markets, Dow Jones up 3%, NASDAQ 2%, S&P 500 almost up 2%. Positive reaction to the re-election of former President Trump, now President-elect Trump. We'll see what Bloomberg News makes of the market movements. An update live next on The Mark Arum Show.
The votes are in, and Donald Trump wins his second term in the White House.
We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything.
Election Day 2024.
The votes have been counted.
So I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being...
Stay with 95.5 WSB for all the information you need about the Trump transition.
Every single day I will be fighting for you.
95.5 WSB.
Your 2024 election station.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good? Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good? Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Learn how to get Comcast Business Internet and Security Edge plus Wi-Fi backup for $59 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement when you add Comcast Business Unlimited Mobile. And ask how to get up to a $600 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call or go online today. Ends 11/17/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 300 megabit per second internet, Security Edge, and Wi-Fi backup. Eco bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group, to discuss one of the biggest blind spots that people face when saving for retirement, and it's a head scratcher. Chris, how do so many people not know what they're invested in?
That's the biggest flaw that everybody runs into. They think they know what equities they have, they think they know what bonds they have, but they really don't know how those mutual funds or how those index funds are performing in conjunction with one another. So, I would liken this to a big pot of soup, and we're just throwing all the ingredients in the refrigerator in this thing. It's not very good. It's just a mishmash of stuff. And sometimes you like the way it tastes. Sometimes you don't. And when you don't know why. You don't know if you got too much chicken in there or too much vegetables in there or what's going on. And I ask every caller that comes in for an initial consultation, do you know how your portfolio is broken down? And they say, well, I've got, 20 or so options in my 401k, and I just picked 2 of them or 3 of them. I thought I needed some international. I thought I needed some U.S. equities. I thought I needed some bonds. And they're just guessing. So you have to absolutely know what you're invested in, and that's where we will run the 401k portfolio x-ray for you, because that'll break it down. If you're not proficient at investing and don't understand this world, we will walk you through it. Not knowing what you're invested in is a big hindrance to growing and protecting your money. We will run a portfolio x-ray for you and educate you on exactly what's in your portfolio.
Set up a time to get your complimentary portfolio x-ray today. Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858. That's 404-737-3858, or book online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Skip the hassle and sell your home with the strongest cash offer this fall. The guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate is the easiest way to sell your home. It's Eric Erickson, and with the guaranteed offer, you can skip the uncertainty, sell your home fast for all cash in as little as 21 days. Mark Spain Real Estate's been serving families for nearly 30 years and has helped over 58,000 satisfied clients. Trust the top real estate team in the U.S. to sell your home fast and for maximum profit. Go to markspain.com and find out what your guaranteed offer would be and start packing.
Men, if you're suffering from ED or PE, Priority Men's Medical Center will get your love life back in just one visit. Their painless, breakthrough medical treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments will restore your love life regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. Plus, you'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients will have their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To regain your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
As Americans, when we vote, we have a powerful opportunity to shape our communities.
and we rely on our local election officials to make sure our voice is heard, to closely monitor the process from start to finish,
to ensure our ballots are counted accurately and transparently,
to ensure that we, the voters, decide our leaders,
to put the will of the people first. Thank your election officials for certifying your vote.
Paid for by American Civil Liberties Union Foundation, Inc.
11:18 on the Mark Arum Show. Still monitoring construction delays on Georgia 400. Let's say hello and good morning to Veronica Harrell.
And hello and good morning to you, Mark. Yeah, construction Georgia 400 southbound at Abernathy. It knocks out a left lane. Going to cause a tap of the brakes for you as you travel through the Sandy Springs area. Downtown Rye, just a few brake lights there. 75, 85 north and southbound. And you do have construction. Peachtree Road northbound, north of Collier Road. It knocks out a right lane. I'm Veronica Harrell, 95.5 WSB.
11:19 on the Mark Arum Show. We continue to cover the post-election fallout, the celebrations, the tears, and everything. Kamala Harris, again, she's gonna address the nation and concede to former President Trump 4 p.m., and we will carry that live here on 95.5 WSB. And then we expect also President Biden to address the nation shortly thereafter. I don't know if we'll take that live. Probably we will, as the peaceful transfer of power continues here. Again, Donald Trump at 5:30 this morning was officially named president-elect as Wisconsin put him over the 270 mark. The most stunning thing to me is the popular vote. Now, the numbers haven't moved since we got on the air as far as the popular vote, but the latest tally was Trump won 50.9% of the popular vote. Kamala Harris, 47.4% of the popular vote, which to me is a really stunning number. I had totally forgotten, by the way, that Mitch McConnell said he does not want leadership. So even though the Republicans are taking back the Senate with a pretty big majority there, it won't be McConnell heading it. And Eric Erickson telling us in the last half hour that the Republicans will hold the House of Representatives. So Donald Trump's going to have both Congress, the House of Representatives, and Senate at his beck and call for Donald Trump 2.0, the second administration. Will he get things done? Won't he? We'll see. So much yet to come. Or as Deborah said, what are we going to talk about now? What are we going to talk about now? Yes. Checking the markets. We're going to run down Bloomberg, but if you have a 401k IRA, good news here. The Dow right now is up 1,300 points. 1,300 points. I remember as a kid, the Dow Jones Industrial, it broke a record. I was such a nerd. I kept this little notebook. I know. I don't know. It was probably like 1980, 81. And I remember in the notebook I wrote, the Dow broke 1,000 or the Dow broke 1,100. It's up 1,300 points right now. 3%. S&P up 2%. NASDAQ up 2%, almost 400 points there. And the crypto market going absolutely bananas right now. Bitcoin up 7%. Ethereum up almost 10%. Bitcoin now at 74,000. Should have held on to the Bitcoin, Longoria. Should have held on. The Dow, by the way, is up over 43,500. We'll continue to monitor that. Yeah, you know what? Can we revisit, speaking of Kamala Harris, Karen Travers. We had Karen Travers on earlier. She's the White House correspondent for ABC News. Now we have, again, this was earlier in the show. We didn't have clarification, but I went to Karen about obviously any Democratic reaction to what was going on yesterday at the White House and Mar-a-Lago.
Not yet. I mean, they have been very silent since last night. We are expecting the vice president.
All right, Karen, we had enough of you. We already heard you. Joining us live from Bloomberg News, talking about the market surge. It is Abigail Doolittle, Bloomberg Markets correspondent. Abigail, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How about you?
I am fascinated by the green arrows that we're seeing across the markets right now. The Dow up over 1,300 points. I'm assuming that it's investors saying, all right, we know what's going to happen. There's going to be no worry about who's the next president. We know who's going to be in charge. The Dow, the investors, they love certainty, don't they?
That's absolutely correct. Investors love certainty. So yesterday, on Election Day, interestingly enough, stocks were higher, which might have been a precursor to a relatively decisive win for Donald Trump as the next president of the United States. But overnight, or I should say from 6 p.m. when futures opened, very small moves, and then quickly gaining speed. And right now, as you're mentioning, that Dow up an incredible 3%, the S&P 500 up the better part of 2%. You have the bank index up a whopping 9.4%. So let's break that down, because it's not just that investors like the certainty. They also really like the fact that Donald Trump is going to be the next president of the United States. The Trump trade, the protectionism, we're seeing that all over the place. Relative to banks, the reason we have that big 9.4% rally, less regulation, the possibility of regulation, pro-business, pro-economy. We also see the dollar at its best, at highs, having its best days since 2020. At the highs, the best day since 2016. That's sending yields higher as bonds fall. So it's a risk-on rally. This is the market's way of saying that, yes, they like the certainty of knowing who the next president is, but they also like what they are assuming Donald Trump's policies will be, and that they will be pro-business and pro-market.
So this isn't a one and done, Abigail. This is the market saying we're fully embracing a second Trump term.
Yes, this is the market saying that we're fully embracing a second Trump term, maybe even some relief. One market strategist over at Interactive Brokers had told me that he had thought that and was hearing that if Kamala Harris had won, that there would actually be a near-term sell-off just because of tax policies and there could be some capital gains. So we're really seeing the inverse of this. Now, the test will be how long do we continue to see these types of gains?
Yeah. Well, because, I mean, listen, for all of Biden's shortcomings, the stock market's been pretty good the last 4 years.
It certainly has, putting aside some of the dips that we've had stocks up in a big way. And actually, I'll try to measure that precisely. So that's a good point. And, let's not forget, he's done a tremendous amount of fiscal policy, put a ton of money into the system. And that certainly helps not just the economy, but it also goes, markets are friendly to it. They like that quite a bit. I'm just popping this in right now to see exactly how much we have been up over the last 4 years. And this won't be precise to his administration, but it'll be pretty close because it's certainly, I believe, triple digits. Actually, it's not. It's up less than I thought, up 67%. Not so shabby, though.
That's
still
pretty
really
good.
pretty respectable, and especially that's, a broad index. Going back to the Trump trade, a really quick way of looking at it is DJT. This is Trump Media and Entertainment. Donald Trump himself is the largest shareholder, I believe.
They stopped trading on it yesterday because it was in a nosedive.
Well, there's so much volatility.
Yeah.
And it was halted today. Earlier at the highs up more than 30%, up right now just 5%, so some volatility there. Speaking of volatility, because of the uncertainty, the VIX, that's an index that measures uncertainty and volatility, it had been at some of the higher levels just recently, and then yesterday it started to trail lower, a couple days ago actually, and that might have been another way in advance of the results that we have received of markets saying that they thought that there was going to be a clear winner. Now, of course, we are waiting on the House because it would be interesting if the executive branch and the legislative branch are both red.
We've got sources that say that the GOP will retain the House. So that might be insider trading, but if you want to go ahead and get some futures in there.
Well, so that means that it's more likely tax policies will go through quickly, immigration, and then, of course, tariffs, beautiful tariffs. Donald Trump has talked about tariffs, and his last administration, he put quite a few in place. And on this, one of the big recipients of tariffs, China, one NASDAQ Golden Dragon Index, that's an index here in the U.S. comprised of Chinese tech companies, ADRs, that's down 2.3%. And, in fact, during the Asian session, the Hang Seng down 2.2%.
I'm going to end on the Hang Seng, Abigail. I got a hard break for news. I wish I had more time to talk about the crypto. We'll hear from you, though, at the closing bell. Sabrina's got your news, weather, and traffic next.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? Well, that's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Hey, it's Eric Von Hessler. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They'll handle repairs on your old home and make price-boosting upgrades at no upfront cost. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Retirement doesn't have to be complicated. Are you sick of all the fancy charts and investment mumbo-jumbo thrown at you to justify the Wall Street fees you're being charged? It's not the size of your nest egg that matters, but rather the income it can produce. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons, best-selling author and star in a brand new Hollywood documentary called The Retirement Deception. In this film, we traveled over 20,000 miles interviewing real Americans who have retired successfully with a great lifestyle and peace of mind. They share their stories on how they get more retirement income with the same dollar saved, and the money is never at risk if the market crashes. That's right. If the market crashes 30%, you lose nothing. Even the super wealthy are shifting money into this new strategy because it increases their retirement income or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you are over 50 and want a bigger, better, stress-free retirement, call to talk to a specialist and get a free copy of this brand new movie, The Retirement Deception. 888-471-3896. This is a $30 value, but when you call today, you get it completely free. So don't delay. Call 888-471-3896. Again, that's 888-471-3896.
Teeth are amazing. That's why at Affordable Dentures and Implants, they believe it's time the world sees your smile. With new financing options, you don't need to wait to get your smile back. Their 14 practices in the Atlanta area are open to serve you. Schedule a free new smile consultation. Call 1-800-DENTURE or visit AffordableDentures.com to find a location near you. That's 1-800-DENTURE or visit AffordableDentures.com. Affordable Dentures and Implants. Go ahead and smile.
Go ahead and smile.
Have you outgrown the space at your business or home? Shipping Containers for You has your perfect solution. Affordable 40-foot and 20-foot containers that can be delivered to you within days. Go to shippingcontainersforyou.com. That's shippingcontainersforyou.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Rocco's European Garage. Vice President Kamala Harris will concede the presidential race today. She will reportedly deliver her concession speech at 4 from Harvard University. We will bring that to you live. Harris also expected to call President-elect Trump. And we also understand that President Biden will call Trump and address the nation about the election results at some point today. We'll be covering. And as Donald Trump gets ready for a new term in the White House, his various legal cases face an uncertain future.
Earlier this year, Donald Trump was convicted on 34 felony counts in New York, and sentencing is scheduled for later this month. But Emory law professor John Acevedo says his election victory puts us into uncharted waters.
So we actually have no precedent for what to do with cases. It's always been thought that cases would be suspended against a sitting president.
Acevedo says pending trials in Fulton County and elsewhere could also be put on hold for the duration of Trump's 4-year term. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
And as we reported earlier, the Gwinnett County Transit referendum did not make it. And we are now hearing from Gwinnett County Chairwoman Nicole Love Hendrickson this morning in a statement that has just been sent out. She says with more than 250,000 people projected to move to Gwinnett County by 2050, they need solutions to ease congestion. So she says that the county will now, quote, seek and leverage potential funding from state, federal, and local sources as we continue to strive towards our goal of mobility for all. All right, your weather for today. On and off rain, possible light showers, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Afternoon high around 72. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just a matter of minutes. The state capitol and Georgia State MARTA station have both been evacuated this morning after a large gas leak in that area. Atlanta Fire spokesman Andre Holmes telling WSB a construction crew hit a gas line just after 9.
We're continuing to monitor the area. Atlanta Gas and Light is here on scene, working to repair the line.
And this is at the intersection of Piedmont Avenue near MLK Jr. Drive. Holmes says avoid that area and stay inside if you live or work nearby. No injuries have been reported. This is new this morning. 6 Georgians, including a Fulton County jail officer, face charges for allegedly planning to murder 2 other officers at the jail.
The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Georgia says inmate Wayne Alford worked with the 5 other suspects on a plan to kill the officers after they stopped his contraband and narcotics trafficking operations. Among the suspects, Latasha Baker, who worked as a detention officer at the jail. Sheriff Pat Labatt says in a statement it's unthinkable she would plan to have her co-workers killed. Their plot was thwarted after the 2 officers being targeted found tracking devices attached to the bottom of their vehicles. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
Let's check your money. Looks like a good day for your 401k. The Dow currently up 1,318 points at 43,540. So the Dow is up more than 3%. NASDAQ's up almost 2.5%, and the S&P is up more than 2%. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Veronica Harrell's in the WSB 24-hour traffic center with a look at the roads.
And right now, talking about construction over in Gwinnett County. First, you have it, 316 westbound at Cedars Road. It takes out a left lane, causing delays. And then over in the Winder area, you have it, a State Route 316 eastbound at Kilcrease Road. Construction blocks the right lane. May want to think about using Harbins Road. Downtown Rye, dealing with volume a little bit, 75, 85 north and south. And as you just mentioned, Sabrina, Piedmont Avenue shut down over at MLK Junior Drive because of that gas main break, so continue to avoid that area. I'm Veronica Harrell, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy with hit or miss rain showers today, high 72, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with an isolated rain shower possible, high 75. And on Friday, partly cloudy, high 77.
72 degrees in Canton. Brookhaven is 71, and it's 73 in Powder Springs. We'll have more news at noon, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
The most consequential election of our time is over.
This is a magnificent victory for the American people.
Donald Trump will return to the White House as the next president of the United States.
Make America great.
Stay with WSB for all the information you need from now through Inauguration
We're going to
Day.
make you very happy. We're going to make you very proud of your vote.
95.5 WSB.
Your 2024 election station.
I will not rest until we have delivered the strong, safe, and prosperous America.
President-elect Trump during his victory speech this morning at 2:30 a.m. In case you missed it, don't worry. I got you. We'll play it next on The Mark Arum Show.
The flood of political ads is finally over. But what do the changes in D.C. mean for your investments? I'm Wes Moss, and if you're planning to retire within this next presidential term, and you'd like to have a team of registered investment advisors in your corner when you leave office, visit us at Capital Investment Advisors. You can find us at yourwealth.com. That's Y-O-U-R, yourwealth.com.
Welcome your guests into a healthy home this Thanksgiving by calling the cleaning pros at Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. With over 20,000 Google reviews and a 4.9 star rating, Zero Res is the highest reviewed cleaning company in the Atlanta metro. Take advantage of their fall sale going on now. Get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for just $139. Easily schedule your cleaning online at ZeroResAtlanta.com. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards, it's the right way to clean.
Water is definitely your home's worst enemy, and your roof is your first line of defense. But how's your roof holding up? Home Fix It Show host Dave Baker here for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. Do this. Take a walk around your house. Notice any granules in your downspouts and gutters are scattered underground around your home? Granules are the protective coating on shingles. They look like small black rocks or sand, but they tend to come off as your roof ages, and if you're seeing them, your old roof may need replacing. When your roof needs replacing, you need Findlay Roofing. Findlay is a team I trust. They've mastered the roof replacement process with impeccable, high-quality work. Findlay has seen it all, they've replaced it all, and they've warrantied it all. Plus, Findlay stands behind their work with a lifetime leak-free warranty on labor and materials at no additional cost. They also offer 0% financing, so when your roof needs replacing, think of Findlay first. Get started today with a free roof analysis. Schedule now at FindlayRoofing.com.
Roof. Get up to a 30% upfront bonus to use for your retirement income, or up to 12% per year to help grow your retirement income. Whether you're in retirement or will be retiring within 10 years, Trajan Wealth can offer some of the highest guarantees in the business. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and I know no one wants to work forever. We all need to retire someday, and I know you've worked hard for your money, so now is the time to guarantee it. Take advantage of up to a 30% upfront bonus for your retirement income, or up to 12% per year for retirement income. Don't woulda, shoulda, coulda. Get up to a 30% bonus just for opening an account, or up to 12% per year for retirement income. Don't leave your retirement to chance. Retire the right way, the Trajan way, with Trajan Wealth. Call Trajan today at 678-888-3300. That's 678-888-3300.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. DBA in most states says Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions.
Shane Company is your go-to destination for high-quality fine jewelry gifts. Come find beautiful gifts at competitive prices, from dream engagement rings to tennis bracelets, engravable charms, and more. All in stock and ready to give. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Ox, a camel, and a kangaroo. 11:38 on this historic Wednesday, post-election edition of the Mark Arum Show. The race was called at 5:30 a.m. Wisconsin, and their electoral votes put former President Trump, President-elect Trump, and future President Trump over the 270 mark. Some breaking news since then, however. We learned Kamala Harris will give her concession speech. Maybe I didn't get enough sleep as I wanted to. At 4 p.m. at Howard University in D.C., we will carry that live on WSB. Then we expect to hear from President Biden. Kamala Harris will give that concession phone call to former President Trump. Oh, I hope they release that audio. I would love to hear what. I bet she takes the high road and says, she got whooped. There's no other way around it.
The iPhone lets you record your messages
That's
now,
right.
so she's got to be careful.
Kim Commando, record that that message. So anyway, we're going to carry the concession speech live at 4 a.m. So the victory speech was this morning at 2:30. I was out cold. I didn't hear it in its entirety. I've been playing clips, and I imagine most of you were asleep at 2:30. You didn't hear the Trump victory speech. So I want to play at least a major portion of it here for those of us that have missed it. And this is my first time hearing it in its entirety as well.
Thank you all very much. This is great. These are our friends. We have thousands of friends on this incredible movement. This was a movement like nobody's ever seen before. And frankly, this was, I believe, the greatest political movement of all time. There's never been anything like this in this country and maybe beyond. And now it's going to reach a new level of importance because we're going to help our country heal. We're going to help our country heal. We have a country that needs help, and it needs help very badly. We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything about our country. And we made history for a reason tonight, and the reason is going to be just that. We overcame obstacles that nobody thought possible, and it is now clear that we've achieved the most incredible political thing. Look what happened. Is this crazy? But it's a political victory that our country has never seen before, nothing like this. I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president and your 45th president. And every citizen, I will fight for you, for your family, and your future. Every single day, I will be fighting for you, and with every breath in my body, I will not rest until we have delivered the strong, safe, and prosperous America that our children deserve and that you deserve. This will truly be the golden age of America. That's what we have to have. This is a magnificent victory for the American people that will allow us to make America great again. And in addition to having won the battleground states of North Carolina, I love these places, Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, we are now winning in Michigan, Arizona, Nevada, and Alaska, which would result in us carrying at least 315 electoral votes. But it's much easier doing what the networks did or whoever called it, because there was no other path. There was no other path to victory. We also have won the popular vote. That was great. Very proud of
Former and President-elect Trump's victory speech at 2:30 this morning, a replay.
And winning the popular vote was very nice, I will tell you. It's a great feeling of love. We have a great feeling of love in this very large room with unbelievable people standing by my side. These people have been incredible. They've made the journey with me, and we're going to make you very happy. We're going to make you very proud of your vote. I hope that you're going to be looking back someday and say that was one of the truly important moments of my life when I voted for this group of people beyond the president, this group of great people. America has given us an unprecedented and powerful mandate. We have taken back control of the Senate. Wow, that's good. And the Senate races in Montana, Nevada, Texas, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, were all won by the MAGA movement. They helped so much. And in those cases, every one of them, we worked with the senators. They were tough races, and I mean, the number of victories in the Senate was absolutely incredible. And we did tele-rallies. We did tele-rallies with each one of them, and sometimes we did 2 or 3 and it was amazing to look at all of those victories. Nobody expected that, nobody. So I just wanted to thank you very much for that. And you have some great senators and some great new senators. And it also looks like we'll be keeping control of the House of Representatives.
And that's been confirmed this morning by Eric Erickson that the GOP will keep control of the House, regaining the Senate, regaining the Oval Office. So ding, dong, doom. 3 branches, all under Republican control. There was a majority. He kind of wandered after that. But that's the majority of President Trump's victory speech at 2:30 this morning. Again, the concession speech by Vice President Harris scheduled at 4 p.m. This afternoon. She'll be delivering that address from Howard University. We'll bring it to you live here on WSB Radio. And I imagine before the concession speech, she'll make the concession phone call to President-elect Trump. PFPE. Is that what it is? Former president, president-elect, future president. So many titles. His business card is going to be a bunch of letters. We'll wrap up the Election Day coverage when we come back. 1 segment to go of the Mark Arum Show.
The most consequential election of our time is over.
Donald Trump will return to the White House as the next president of the United States.
Well, I want to thank you all very much.
Stay with WSB for all the information you need from now through Inauguration Day.
This is a movement like nobody's ever seen before.
95.5 WSB.
Your 2024 election station.
Scott Slade here to talk to you about your health, and I think it's real important to talk about what is most likely to kill you. Heart disease is the #1 killer of Americans, and the older we get, the more prevalent it is. But you can reduce your risk. Eat right, don't smoke, exercise, and be informed about what's going on in your own body. Like lots of potentially serious health problems, if you catch heart disease early, you vastly increase your chances of living a longer life. And that's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging scans take less than 10 minutes and screen with 98% accuracy for heart disease. Other scans, including brain and full body, are available too. Virtual Imaging is locally owned and operated in Atlanta for over 15 years, so they can make you this terrific offer. A complimentary heart scan for you and your spouse with a few minimum requirements. So don't put this off. I've done it. Call Virtual Imaging today for your free heart scan. 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-7226. Or visit their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
At Humana, our Medicare Advantage plans give you coverage and care you can count on, along with guided support to help you feel your best. Our licensed sales agents are ready to help you understand your options and choose a Medicare Advantage plan. You'll feel confident because you have plan options that fit your needs. You could have a plan with a $0 premium and even personalized care from a wide network of doctors. or all-in-one plans that may include medical and prescription coverage, as well as routine dental, vision, and hearing. When it comes to the benefits and support you need, Humana has Medicare Advantage plans made for your well-being and your wallet. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Hey, it's Ashley Frasca from the Traffic Center. You may have heard me talk about businesses that use shipping containers for you to provide more storage when they've outgrown their warehouse. Is your house and garage overrun with lawn equipment, tools, boxes of Christmas decorations, bikes, and more? Visit shippingcontainersforyou.com. These containers were built tough to travel oceans with containers stacked on top of them. Shipping Containers For You has 40-foot and 20-foot containers that can be delivered to you within days. Go ahead and visit them online, shippingcontainersforyou.com.
Every day, Cintas service reps help businesses get ready for the workday. They provide freshly laundered workwear delivered every week. Mats, mops, restroom and cleaning supplies. First aid and safety products to help your employees stay safe. They even test and inspect fire extinguishers and emergency lights. Cintas helps keep your business running smoothly. See what Cintas can do for you. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
I know it's counterintuitive as the temperature drops, but now's the best time to get a new AC unit. Hey, friends, it's Mark Aram here. Check out what my friends at Reliable Heating and Air are doing. Current offer, any size AC, just $69.99 a month, and that includes 2 free clean air upgrades. All you have to do is schedule your consultation. Go to ReliableAir.com. That's ReliableAir.com. An amazing deal. Any size AC, just $69.99 a month. Just go to ReliableAir.com and schedule your free consultation now.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey, it's Scott Slade for FGA Roofing. If your home's exterior could use an updated look, or maybe one of your neighbor's designer roofs has caught your eye, and your current roof has started to show its age, then now's the perfect time to check out FGA Roofing for the latest in architectural shingles, timberland shingles, and more. Slate, tile, wood shake, cedar roofs, FGA has them all. FGA Roofing offers 0% financing for 12 months with your good credit. Get the roof you want now and pay over time. Click firstgaroof.com. That's firstgaroof.com.
11:51 on the Mark Aram Show. Back to those construction delays on 400. What's the latest, Veronica Harrell?
Yeah, watch out for it, Marcus, Georgia 400 southbound at Abernathy Road. Left lane taken out there. You are dealing with some brake lights downtown, 75, 85 north and south. And don't forget about construction if you're trying to get into Buckhead. It's Peachtree Road northbound, north of Collier Road in the right lane. I'm Veronica Harrell, 95.5 WSB.
Just as I did in my first term, we had a great first term, a great first term.
President Trump yesterday, or this morning in his victory speech, Eric Erickson will continue our team coverage of a post-election recap coming up noon to 3 at WSB. 4 p.m., Kamala Harris' concession speech. We'll broadcast it live here on 95.5 WSB. This is interesting. We had a lot of international reaction. George W. Bush has posted a statement on social media from Crawford, Texas. Quote, I congratulate President Trump on his election as 47th President of the United States, as well as Vice President-elect J.D. Vance and their families. I also thank President Biden and Vice President Harris for their service to our country. The strong turnout in this election is a sign of the health of our republic and the strength of our democratic institutions. Laura and I are grateful to the election officials, poll workers, volunteers who oversaw a free, fair, safe, and secure election. We join our fellow citizens in praying for the success of our new leaders at all levels of government. May God continue to bless our great country. On the heels of that, I suspect we'll see statements from Clinton and Obama at some point.
Probably.
Jimmy Carter,
Maybe
not
not
so
Jimmy
much.
Carter,
Maybe a
yeah.
statement from the Carter Center. But there you go. That just popped. George W. Bush congratulating President Trump and Vice President-elect J.D. Vance. Congratulations in order to our own Andrew Longoria. You beat me to it, buddy.
What's that?
Congrats to getting in the Guinness Book of World Records before I did.
Oh, what did I do?
You didn't know you got in the Guinness Book of
No,
World
I did not,
Records?
no.
Deborah Green, fill us in.
Andrew Longoria has been inducted into the Guinness Book of World Records, Mark's dream, for owning 1,300 plus pieces of Selena memorabilia.
Oh, yeah. Remember we did that story not too long
That's
ago.
amazing.
Yeah. He's from Corpus Christi, Texas,
Yes,
too.
I'm pretty sure it's you.
Yeah, it does not look like me.
A different Andrew Longoria.
Yes.
From Corpus Christi, Texas, gets into the Guinness. It's not you.
It is not me, no.
You don't have a Selena collection.
No, I do not.
What's the Spencer Strider collection record? Maybe that's how I can get in. I've got.
You probably have enough stuff to get in now, right?
Yeah,
If you
exactly.
do that now. Well, Andrew beat you into the Guinness Book of World. Your dream come true. And
That's
Andrew got
amazing.
there before you.
By the way, speaking of Andrew Longoria in the second Trump term, we're gonna have to hold on to that.
Yes.
That Eskimo.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep calling you an Eskimo.
Oh, I'm down with that.
All right, so
Yeah.
well, no change in the program.
he's
there.
deporting everybody, so I'm not
Well, I don't know. After Latino support, I mean, yeah, we'll see.
They're not
You
gonna
and
like
Mama-
it.
I'm from Wisconsin, and we voted for him.
Yeah, exactly. So I think you and Mama Longoria are safe.
Okay.
I don't know, but
I hope so.
Your dreamer
She
kids.
thinks it's the end of the world, but I think we're okay.
Your
dreamer
kids might get pumped out of here. So for now, congrats on the Guinness Book, and
you, thank you,
for the time being, for the next 4 years, you're still going to be the stoic
Yes.
Eskimo. For folks that want to, a lot of people said if Trump wins, I'm going to leave the country. If you are going to continue that plan, you might want to avoid these airports as you flee the United States of America. Deborah, the official list of the airports with the longest wait lines.
Airports with the longest wait time. So this is like security and TSA, all that stuff combined
Yes.
as you're going in. So let's see. Austin, number 5, coming in at over 35 minutes. I don't ever remember having an issue at Austin, but they're number 5 on the list.
Well, there's so much growth, population
Yeah, I mean,
growth.
when I would live there wasn't that many people
Yeah.
there, and now it's like
I get that.
tripled.
The so many people moving to Austin.
It's bad now.
And Erickson said Texas is going to be a swing state eventually, which I think is
Wow,
kind of
that's
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah,
That is crazy.
He said that last night in the roundtable.
That's insane.
All right, so Austin, I'll avoid the Austin airport. What else am I avoiding?
Another super busy one, I think LAX out of California. That's over 35 minutes and 25 seconds.
Because you
there.
got all the Instagram influencers
Taking the pictures.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
doing videos. That's why it's delayed at LAX.
This one for sure, I know. O'Hare in Chicago, 37:52. O'Hare, no matter when I go to
Yeah.
O'Hare, it is always a long line. You fly to Midway and you just take the train. Number 2 kind of surprised me, Orlando. Is that everybody just going to Disney? That's 39 minutes.
They're trying to get their Disney swag
You do
back
have a lot
through
of,
security.
like, literally international. You'll see every country in the world that you're in the Orlando airport.
Mhm.
And number 1, probably not a surprise, JFK.
I've-
You fly in and out of JFK?
No, never. I'm a LaGuardia,
Ever,
LGA, never, ever. I hate JFK Airport. I flew out of there once. Newark sucks. LaGuardia, and they just spent like $6 billion to redo LaGuardia. It's brand new. It's gorgeous now. Yeah, LGA, Delta, ATL to LGA, one flight every hour on the hour. It's fantastic. So, yeah, stay. That's my travel tip for you. I'm Peter Greenberg. Avoid JFK. Always fly out of LaGuardia Airport. All right, there you go. For the folks that are fleeing the country, not that it might matter to you, but the longest wait time is at JFK International Airport.
Longoria's Fact of the Day.
All right, it's National Nachos Day today. And speaking of Guinness Book of World Records, there's a Guinness Book of World Records for the largest serving of nachos is held by Paramount Plus and Mike Judges, the created the Beautiful Butthead, for 4,870 pounds of nachos. And then they, here in Los Angeles on September 25th, 2022, and then they donated to the local food bank after that.
You think the homeless folks were like, enough nachos? It's 4,000 pounds of nachos.
I'm sure that lasted for a couple of weeks.
That's what I'm saying.
They were like, oh, these nachos are ready.
When I volunteered at the soup kitchen on Christmas Day, usually we serve ham and mashed potatoes. And the people there, they're like, thank God, we've been so sick of peanut butter and jelly. Like, they're just so excited
They just want anything.
to get something new. All right, so national. All right, I wanted a cheesesteak for lunch. Yeah, I'm going to stick with my instincts and go with the cheesesteak. But happy National Nacho Day to all who celebrate.
And now, are you guys ready for the Mark Arum star of the show?
Oh, how about the conservative Viking? Stayed up till 5 a.m. and still came in studio, joined us live on the election. He gets the star of the show. Robert Berger joined us live from Jerusalem. International reaction to the Trump re-election. Karen Travis, White House correspondent from ABC. Jim Ryan talking about the House and Senate balance of power. It looks like the Republicans have a clean sweep there. Bloomberg's Abigail Doolittle. Those Bloomberg reporters, man, they talk fast. They're like, the markets are way up, way up. So she gets one. Ashley Frasca made hash brown casserole for everybody this morning. 2 trays. She gets a star of the show. Alex Williams brought me my coffee. Longoria, Deborah. I was going to give one to Sweet Pea, but he bailed early again, so no star of the show for Sweet Pea. Am I forgetting anyone, Deborah? I think that's it.
That's everybody.
Yeah, and the listeners. You guys get one. Campaign's over. Relax, deep breath. Everything's going to be all right. Social medias continue. At Mark Arum, MarkArum. Stay safe. Have a great Wednesday, Atlanta.
Oh, let midnight train to Georgia.